414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
You've heard about Purple mattresses. Try it before you buy it at Steinhafels.
Traffic is sponsored by Smart Spaces. Adapt to the modern workplace. SmartSpacesWI.com.
How can Smart Spaces transform your business?
Creating technology, great culture, spaces that people really want to come to, attract talent, and keep that talent.
SmartSpacesWI.com.
We're back in the desert, and this time it's the real deal.
Hit in the air to right and deep. Get up! Get up! Get out of here! Gone for Garrett Mitchell!
The Brewers take on the Diamondbacks for a 3-game series, starting tonight at 8:05 on News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 3 o'clock. I'm John Mercure. Your top story this afternoon. Both officers who died in the line of duty in Barron County have now been identified.
I'm Sandy Max. 3 new digits for Northeast Wisconsin.
And I'm Bob Brainerd in for Greg Matzik. The Brewers cruising out to Arizona.
Going to be a little bit tight right around the Capitol Drive area. Then it lets up by the time you hit Burleigh. It looks pretty good there. Westbound 94 is going to be a bit tight from 35th Street to about Mitchell Boulevard through the Stadium interchange. Southbound 43 is going to be a little heavy from Bender Road down past Silver Spring, and a couple pockets of heavier traffic in towards the Marquette. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Son Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight, mostly clear skies, a low of 48 degrees. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, breezy, a high of 75 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, both officers and the suspect have been identified in the fatal traffic stop in Barron County.
According to a press release from the Wisconsin Department of Justice, who are leading the investigation, 32-year-old Chetek police officer Emily Breidenbach and 23-year-old Cameron police officer Hunter Scheel were conducting a traffic stop based on a warrant as well as to check the welfare of the driver. 50-year-old Glenn Perry, after being notified of concerning behavior by Perry. That traffic stop turning into a shootout that left all 3 dead, both officers pronounced dead at the scene, Perry at the hospital. Officer Breidenbach had 4 years of service with Chetek PD, and Officer Scheel had 1, only graduating from the Law Enforcement Academy in December of last year. Wyatt Barmore-Pooley, WTMJ News.
I'm Eric Bilstead.
Very tragic time for us.
Donna Bukowski works for the city of Chetek, and she even spoke with one of the officers involved hours before the shooting.
She talked about what a beautiful day it was. I never in a million years thought a couple hours later I would never see or talk to her again.
Bukowski tells WTMJ Steve Scafidi and Carol Kane that officers from all over the area have already come to help the city cope with the loss. And as for her friend,
she loved her town. She absolutely loved her job.
Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
A press conference with more updates on the shooting is expected at 4 p.m.
A mass shooting at a bank in Louisville, Kentucky this morning has left 4 victims dead, 9 injured, including Louisville police officers.
The U.S. Department of Justice has filed its appeal to halt a Texas judge's ruling that would restrict access to the abortion medication mifepristone as soon as Friday. The department says it's prepared to take this case to the Supreme Court if necessary. The DOJ arguing that the district court's decision is unprecedented and that failing to halt the judge's ruling would not only undermine the FDA's scientific research, but would also harm women who rely on mifepristone for medical reasons.
Northeast Wisconsin will soon be home to a new area code.
The 920 area code is expected to run out of assignable prefixes by early 2024, meaning there's not a great enough supply of phone numbers to meet the ever-growing demand of new phone users. So the 274 area code will now be alongside the 920 code in communities like Appleton, Green Bay, and Oshkosh, with service beginning for the 274 code on May 5th. And for those wondering, the new code will not change the prices of calls in that area. Finn Askin, WTMJ News.
The Brewers start a Western road trip. Bob Brainerd is in on sports next.
Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 3:04.
This report is sponsored by Creative Planning. Give your wealth a second look. CreativePlanning.com.
Wealth-changing question. Has your advisor created a portfolio based only on your age and risk tolerance? That's simply not good enough. Your money deserves better, and so do you. At Creative Planning, our private wealth managers learn about you first, and then they create a customized plan and portfolio by partnering with our in-house money managers, accountants, and attorneys. Don't settle for a standard portfolio. Book your free meeting today at CreativePlanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
ESPN Milwaukee's Jen Latta here for St. Kate, the Arts Hotel. Looking for the perfect place to host a private party to celebrate a birthday or that big promotion? Bring your group to the Dark Room, the secret dining area located inside St. Kate. The Dark Room provides a quiet, swanky setting for an intimate meal with your favorite people. When you book an event at the Dark Room, you work directly with the St. Kate dining team to create a custom menu for your celebration. Learn more about hosting your next party in the Dark Room. Visit stkatearts.com.
Hey, moms, dads, grandparents, if there's no school today, you need an outing. WTMJ's John Mercure here with a pretty cool idea. Treat your kids to a safe and super affordable day of fun at the amazing Mineshaft Restaurant and Entertainment Center in Hartford. The Mineshaft is the coolest, most family-friendly restaurant with a $2 million game room. That's over 140 interactive games, including the most popular like Typhoon, Avengers, Ticket Ring games, and the easiest games for your little ones. Your kids will love the Mineshaft, especially your teenagers. Get a huge 18-inch pizza for just $14.99. Your wallet's going to love that. Easily feeds a family of 4. Grandparents, take your grandkids to the Mineshaft today. They'll love you more than ever. What a fun day. If your kids do have school, take them after school for tons of fun. The Mineshaft is on Main Street in beautiful downtown Hartford with a kids menu that starts at just $3.99. No reservations needed. It's big food. It's big fun. Just walk in. Mineshaftrestaurant.com. It's the amazing Mineshaft.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Here's Bob Brainerd.
Young players and expectations be damned. The Brewers dropped opening day at Wrigley Field, then just went out and lost one game in 6 at home. Milwaukee now hits the road for a 10-gamer out west, beginning with Arizona tonight. More from the skipper, Craig Counsell.
Yeah, obviously a difficult road trip. It's a difficult schedule to start the season for us, so this will be a challenge. We're going to play 3 very good baseball teams, playing good baseball, and we've played good baseball and got some guys off to a good start. We got, the start today by Freddie, I think puts the bullpen back in order, so we're in good shape going into a new series.
Catch Game 1 against the Diamondbacks right here on 620 WTMJ with the pregame coverage kicking in at 8 p.m. Wade Miley against Zach Gallen in the opener in Phoenix. The Bucks get a full week of R&R as they await the all-play-in action to sort out who Milwaukee's first-round opponent will be. Best record in the NBA, home court advantage throughout the postseason. Check and check.
Credit to the players to finish this season the way they did, to have I think us improve in a lot of areas. Our defense is something that we hang our hat on, and individually, a lot of guys, played well, collectively played well, and now it's, time to get ready for the postseason.
That's Mike Budenholzer. The Bucks will host opponent TBA at Fiserv Forum next Sunday in Game 1. And John Rahm is your Masters champ. Brooks Koepka is not. And while Brooks didn't have enough game to keep himself in the lead in the final round, he also didn't have enough patience during it.
You're a pretty fast player, as we know. Just curious your thoughts on the pace of play this afternoon.
Yeah, that group in front of us was brutally slow. John went to the bathroom like 7 times during the round, and we were still waiting. Still
waiting for the group in front.
What a big baby.
To
Stop.
kick it in high. Hey, do we need a pitch clock now in golf? Would that help things out? Because it certainly helped baseball move things
Is
along.
that what they got on the Live Tour? Brooks is used to getting things his way when he's off with the Saudis. Stop whining.
That's all I could think of.
Oh,
when
my God.
I asked my boyfriend, hey, who won the Masters? And I said, was it Brooks Koepka? And he said, no. And I'm like, John Mercure is going to be really happy.
I was so happy. And I hate cheering against the Americans, but I was Team Rahm all the way.
Well, and he relieved himself 7 times during the round. So apparently he was in full gear to get the job done and finish strong.
I'm surprised Koepka can count to 7. How do you keep track of all those
Wow.
things? It is 3:08 at WTMJ. The 3 at 3 up next.
This report sponsored by Mr. Holland's Heating and Air Conditioning. Visit MrHollandsHeatingandAir.com.
Rain, rain, go away, come again some other day. Actually, crazy storms and high winds go away and stay away. When you spring up out of nowhere, humidity goes up, power lines go down, and plumbing goes sideways. Mr. Holland's Home Services can make the rain pain go away with our trusty team of proficient plumbers, effective electricians, and HVAC MVPs. It's true that April showers bring May flowers, but they also bring about pesky power outages, uncomfortable clammy climates, and soggy, sloppy basements and crawl spaces. So if you find yourself in need of a new sump pump or water heater, electrical repairs or a whole house generator, or a fresh new furnace and AC, Mr. Holland's Home Services is always here to help, come rain or shine. 866-992-1717 or visit MrHollandsHomeservices.com. If you're ready to take April by storm, we can help.
From the beginning, they were applauded. The music that sold over 100 million records. Chicago, May 9th, Riverside Theater. The music of Chicago. May 9th, Riverside Theater. On sale now at Riverside Theater box office or PabstTheaterGroup.com. Chicago.
Is inflation busting or benefiting your financial plan? Hi, it's Dan Needles. Join me Thursday, April 27th at the Milwaukee Marriott West for a panel discussion with Jeff Kowal and the Kowal Investment Group advisors as we examine how today's inflation rate could bust or benefit your retirement plan, plus the 3 proactive steps you need to take. This is a free event, but be sure to register early as seats are limited. Visit thekowalway.com to reserve your spot today. I hope to see you there.
Kowal Investment Group is a registered investment advisor.
Grandview Buys Homes. Let us help you sell your loved one's home. We'll buy your home completely as is. Get a fair cash offer in 48 hours and close on the day you choose. Take only the belongings you want and leave the stress and the mess to us. GrandviewHomes.com.
Since 1964, we've changed your tires and so much more. Richland's Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richland's.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here's John McCure.
Sandy's here, Bob's in for Greg, Debbie's here. You guys, I don't know what's going on. Have you ever had this happen? You're at home, you have 4 big screen TVs all on at the same time? Probably not, but that's what's happening in the studio here. We got 4 big TVs. One, I cannot get off Texas Walker Ranger, whatever that show is.
Don't change it. This is a great episode.
All right, Bob, well, you're in luck. Then the other big screen TV is now nothing but black. I can't see it.
And this is one of those days where we truly want
the TVs.
all of the monitors on so we can keep an eye on Wisconsin news, Louisville news, but
the other TV looks like a Blockbuster video aisle. There's like icons for like 12 different movies. I can't get that switched. Maybe Adam or Mike Spalding.
Producer Adam, I'm sure, can solve this.
Help us.
Of course.
Please. I need lots of help.
So we can
You're
inform.
technology challenged over there with the clicker.
You got that right. I'm about to throw the clicker through this big, beautiful window we have that looks into the 3rd Street Market Hall. All right, what are we tracking today?
This is the 3 at 3 on Wisconsin's afternoon news.
All right, obviously we are on top of what's happening in Louisville and also what's happening in northwest Wisconsin with the tragedy involving the 2 officers. But what other stories are we starting with today, Sandy?
Some developments downtown. Construction continues on the Wisconsin Center renovations with work on a new skywalk beginning today.
Yeah, the Wisconsin Center District is putting in a big, beautiful skywalk which will connect the Hyatt over to the new convention center. There used to be a skywalk there. It was taken down. Now with the expansion, this huge thing is going in today. It's 110 feet long, weighs 110,000 pounds, and eventually it will be part of a connecting corridor. So you'll be able to get all over downtown without walking outside. So it's pretty cool.
And a beautiful day for the construction. And it's fun to be downtown and hear the sounds of construction happening.
Yes.
It just feels like growth.
You got that right. And you're right. What a good day for it. What's the second thing we're tracking?
Governor Tony Evers' American Family Field proposal will reportedly be removed from the state budget's final draft in favor of its own separate piece of legislation.
So the powerful Speaker of the Assembly's hinted all along that this was likely to happen. Now a top Democrat, Senator Tim Carpenter of Milwaukee, says people that I've been in meetings with are not in support of this, meaning my constituents. He, of course, is in the district that holds American Family Field. He says it's a good idea to pull it out of the budget, and so that will likely not happen till the fall. The Brewers, by the way, are saying, hey, we'll work with the governor, we'll work with legislators, we will make this happen, but it will not be part of the governor's budget as was initially perceived and laid out. So that is a pretty big development. What is the third thing?
For the first time since the start of the pandemic, a farmer's market returns to downtown's Milwaukee Westtown neighborhood.
I love this market. I don't know if you've ever been to this one, but it's beautiful. It's in Zeidler Park, right near where we are here. They have fresh flowers.
With the
They have all
gazebo.
the vendors. Yes,
Yeah.
the gazebo in the middle. So it's going to start up again this summer. It shut down during the pandemic. It will run for 2 Thursdays in June, 2 in July, 2 in August, 2 in September. And it's right there, a rebranded image. It's going to be back. It is, by the way, Wisconsin's oldest outdoor market. So that's pretty cool. So the first one will be June 8th. June 8th will get rolling out there.
Mark your calendars.
That is good stuff. All right, we're going to try to get the TVs fixed in here. I'm going to need some serious help. I mean, like, we might have to call the Geek Squad. I don't know what we're going to have to do, but we'll try to get this
We'll have a
worked
meeting
out.
of the minds. I think we can do it.
Yeah. Good idea, Sandy. I like where you're going with this. The latest on a couple of those stories we mentioned earlier on, including the Louisville bank shooting. We've got the detail for you. That is right up after Debbie helps get you home here on WTMJ.
WTMJ's Jeff Wagner.
I mean, again, you can say what you want about Ron DeSantis, but whatever Ron DeSantis is or isn't, he's not a rhino. Rainbows are rainbows. Rainbows are created by God. You see, and if that offended some people, I apologize for it. People love deals. They love free cheese. There's no question about it. Hey, did you hear that forecast? 60 degrees on Friday, snow on Saturday. Welcome to Wisconsin at the end of March.
Weekdays from noon to 3 on WTMJ.
Sit Mean Sit dog training. Hey, John Mercure here. Bella and Baxter are better behaved. You know why? Because I finally got wise enough to take them to Sit Mean Sit dog training. They are the best teams out there. They've got the best trainers, the best techniques at Sit Mean Sit dog training. You too can have a happy, confident, obedient dog. Your house will be better. Mine sure is. We started with a free consultation at Sit Mean Sit, and then we got to work with them, and they got to work with our dogs, and life is better. Bella and Baxter are not only cute, but they actually behave better. Check out the website, sitmeansitwaukesha.com.
Blaine's Farm and Fleet is your one-stop shop for supplies at prices that help your hard-earned dollars go further. Like Hillman Grade 2 nuts, bolts, and washers, just $1.99 a pound. Measure twice, cut once with a Milwaukee tape measure, now 20% off. And save $2 on Sunglow Show Feed, new at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. And visit us at the Midwest Horse Fair in Madison, Wisconsin, April 14th through the 16th. That's genuine value from Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Find value at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus. I'm Weston. What's your question?
What keeps you up at night?
My box spring.
Your box spring?
Sure. It supports my mattress, prevents sagging, and gives my bed a little elevation. So yeah, my box spring keeps me up at night.
You're a literal guy, aren't you?
Through Monday, you can literally get a free box spring with the purchase of a new Sealy Posturepedic or Beautyrest mattress at Hasselus, or take an equal amount off a new adjustable base.
So nothing else keeps you up at night?
Well, I sometimes lay awake wondering why the word abbreviated is so long. Or if the number 2 pencil is most popular, why is it still number 2? Or do fish ever get thirsty?
These questions are going to keep me up at night.
Get a free box spring with your new Beautyrest or Sealy Posturepedic mattress through Monday at Hasselus Mattress. Open 9 to 9. Find a showroom near you or shop online at hasselus.com. Hasselus. Employee free, guaranteed.
Traffic is sponsored by TaybackAttorneys.com. Hurt at work? Call Tayback for the payback. An injury at work may leave you eligible for compensation benefits, including lost wages, coverage of medical bills, or a cash settlement. Call Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com.
Traffic and weather, then the latest on that shooting at the bank in Louisville. All right, Deb, how are we doing so far?
We've got some slowdowns along 41 southbound, right around that North Avenue curve, so careful with that. Give yourself a little extra time. And then a little bit slow from Watertown Plank Road up to Swan Boulevard on the northbound side. Southbound's a little bit heavier now from Silver Spring down towards Hampton Avenue. Once you're at Hampton, it actually opens up. It looks pretty good all the way into the Marquette. And around the rest of the system, moving along pretty smoothly. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, clear skies, a low of 48. We're in a really good stretch coming up. Tomorrow, sunny with a high of 75. Wednesday, sunny and windy, a high of 77. Thursday, sunny and breezy, a high of 76. Friday, partly cloudy, a high of 70 degrees. Right now in Milwaukee, it is 69 degrees. Want to get you up to speed on the situation in Louisville. 4 people killed. The gunman also shot and killed. At least 8 others injured in a mass shooting at a bank there. ABC's Jim Ryan is with us. He's been tracking the story throughout the day. Good afternoon, Jim.
Hey, John. Yes, we know that these folks are still hospitalized. The one police officer is still in critical condition, along with 2 civilians. 3 others also are hospitalized in less serious condition, and 3 were released from the hospital. So 9 were taken there altogether. We know 4 people who were killed, ranging in age from 40 to 64, before the gunman himself, who was 23, was shot and killed.
Do we know if the gunman shot himself or if he was killed in an exchange with police officers?
We don't know that yet. The investigators are still looking at that. They've got help from the ATF, the FBI, and Louisville's own forensics folks and ballistics experts who will determine that, whether it was a self-inflicted wound or if officers who were there on the scene within 3 minutes, by the way, John, if it was a bullet from an officer who killed this man.
Jim, this is Sandy Max, and it's chilling for me because I grew up in Louisville, so this always has that resonance with it, but also chilling because of the social media angle that's being reported about this, that the shooter live streamed this on Instagram.
Yeah, that's the word going around, at least, and that's certainly something that the police will be looking at. This as part of the search for the motivation for this. They may be able to find something, but at this point, there's just no indication at all of why this person, who was either a current or a former employee of the Old National Bank there in Louisville, was why he would have done this.
ABC's Jim Ryan is with us. That's the question I had, Jim. Reports are that he either did work there or used to work there, maybe had relationships with people there. Do we know anything about that? What's being reported about that?
Yes, well, his LinkedIn account still shows that the suspect worked or works at that bank. And but whether anybody was specifically targeted, any of the 4 people he killed, or the bank building itself, it would appear that the bank was being targeted, but whether any of these people he shot were the ones he was looking for isn't clear. One of them, Tommy Elliott, one of those who died, 63 years old, was a friend of the mayor of Louisville and a friend of the governor of Kentucky. He knew both of those people, and interestingly so, it's really touching this community in a very personal way and its leadership.
Jim, do we know what sort of weapon was used? If there was more than one weapon, ammunition, what do we know about any of that?
We're told at this point only that it was an assault-style rifle. I believe it was an AK-47 that he used in this. Now, whether there were other guns involved, nobody has been told that yet. I'm sorry, it was an AR-15.
Yep. What about the condition of those that were hospitalized or injured?
Well, this police officer who had just recently joined the force, I'm looking now at the picture of his commissioning when he received his commission. The police chief is standing there alongside him. The mayor is standing there with him, and now those two were at a news conference talking about his serious injuries. He's in critical condition. He took a gunshot wound to the head. Other officers, and one other officer also was hurt. That's Officer Nicholas Wilt, the one who's in critical this afternoon, and then 3 people who were less seriously hurt, who were expected to pull through.
15th mass shooting this year, Jim. Do we have any idea how that compares to past years this far into the year, early April?
It's going to be close. It's going to be close to, if not a record, then certainly one that compares to the worst years we've had in recent years. So. Yeah, and it seems every week we hear about another one, either in a school, in a business, in a home, at a club, at a grocery store. It seems to happen almost everywhere at this point, John.
ABC's Jim Ryan. Thank you so much, Jim.
Thank you.
If there is more on this story as it develops throughout the afternoon, we will be sure to bring it to you. Sandy, this part of Louisville, so you're a Louisville girl, and this is right in the heart of Louisville, right?
Yes, it is Main Street. So it is right near the river. It's where this is a couple blocks away from the River Bats baseball stadium, where one of the Reds farm teams plays. It's a few blocks away from the Yum Center. It's Main Street, where if you go a little bit further west, you find the Louisville Slugger Museum, you find the Science Center, you find a lot of the Muhammad Ali Museum. So this
all
really
in that same
is,
area.
and near the convention center. So yeah, this really is the business part of Louisville.
So if you haven't spent time in Louisville, you've maybe at least traveled through it. The interstate passes through there. If you go down through Indiana and you're headed to Florida or Atlanta or other places, Nashville, further south, the big bridges that span that river, you go from Indiana into Louisville. So is it basically just on the other side of those bridges? Is that where downtown sits in Louisville?
Yes, if you go over the second Street Bridge, which is right next to the Yum Center. This would be just a few blocks east of that location.
We're going to have much more on this as we head through the afternoon, including coming up during the 4 o'clock hour. Sandy grew up there, and I'm really interested to hear your reaction when you heard this. You have family there. You have friends there. So coming up about an hour from now, Sandy will really dive into painting the picture of where this happened in Louisville, and as a Louisville girl, what this is like. Just a tragic story. So the latest now is that 4 victims plus the shooter have been killed, excuse me. Don't know yet if the shooter was killed by police gunfire, and they arrived 3 minutes after being reported, or if he took his own life. But we will bring you the latest on that. All right, on a Monday, I feel like we really need this. A couple of things. Coming up after the news, we're going to do something nice. We do that on Monday. Something nice. We will change things up a little bit. And a little bit later on in the show, there's another new phone area code coming to Wisconsin. So we hear over and over that in Milwaukee County, they're losing population. There are less people and less phones. But in some parts of the state, we are growing so big that they're going to add another area code, and they're going to overlay it, is what they call. So they won't get rid of an area code, but they will instead begin to assign new phone numbers to this area code. We'll tell you what part of the state that is in as we head through the afternoon. It is 3:25 at WTMJ. Time for the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Stocks ending mostly higher to start the week after reversing earlier losses. They wavered early today after the release of Friday's job report showed continued strength in the labor market. Remember, the markets were closed on Friday. That jobs report came out. That jobs report was good news. Remember what we've talked about in this environment? When there's good economic news, it doesn't seem good, because it means the Fed's likely to keep raising interest rates, which the stock market doesn't like. So you put all that in and kind of boil it together, and stocks ended mostly on an uptick today. The S&P 500 was up 4 points to close at 4109. The Dow was up 101 points. That's a third of a percentage point. The Dow up 101 to close at 33,586. The NASDAQ was down, but only slightly. Down 4 points to close at 1284. The Russell 2000 was also up on the day, more than a full percentage point. What about the commodities? Crude oil was down, $79.81 a barrel. Gold was down too, down $20 an ounce. That's a full percentage point to close at $2,006 an ounce. Silver was off. It's at $25.02. And the Treasury bond was up a little bit today. Annex Wealth Management, know the difference. It's time to calibrate your plan. Get on track with investment and retirement planning. Visit annexwealth.com. Click the Get Started button today. That's Annex Wealth Management.
Like it or not, you are a media-consuming machine, chased all day by headlines, texts, emails, on the TV, the computer, the phone, even your smartwatch. News about market volatility and uncertainty could lead to anxiety and planning paralysis. No surprise, Americans report increased stress about their investment and retirement plans. This isn't a time to be frozen in place. Take action. Put Annex Wealth Management on your side. Build a plan that will help cut through the noise. We'll provide comprehensive investment and retirement guidance that includes tax and estate planning. Let Annex do a deep dive on your portfolio. Offer unbiased advice with WealthMetric and work to create a solid plan for you and your family. Turn down the media roar. Dial up the planning. Head to annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button. It only takes a couple of minutes, in person or online. It's time to take action and know the difference with a fee-only fiduciary. That's Annex Wealth Management. annexwealth.com.
My partners had told me I should get my knee replaced. I was in my 40s, and I decided that I wouldn't do that.
That's orthopedic surgeon Dr. John Herzog, who found regenerative medicine years ago and became a believer.
It changed my life around. It improved me to a point where I was able to jog again.
That's when Dr. Herzog switched his focus from surgery to helping his patients with natural biologics.
I've treated at least 5,000 patients. I believe your body has everything it needs to heal itself.
Today, you'll find Dr. Herzog at QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in this exciting field of medicine that can give lasting pain relief with no downtime, no drugs, and no surgery.
I have patients coming up to me that I did 10 years ago saying, Doc, my elbow's still working great. I'm playing tennis 3 days a week.
Call QC Kinetics now to explore alternative ways to deal with your pain. It's a free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Don't think twice. Call Dice. Garage door broke. Do it right. Don't think twice. Call Dice. Need a new garage door. Do it right. Don't think twice. Call Dice.
A great way to add value and curb appeal to your home is with a new CHI maintenance-free garage door. In fact, a recent study by Remodelers Magazine reports that the average return on investment is an amazing 82%, ranking number one among all home improvement projects. To see our huge selection of doors, come visit us at our Brookfield location or view our online showroom at GuysDoors.com. We have everything from alley doors to custom wood designer doors and everything in between. Remember, for all your garage door needs, call Geis at 262-784-4250 or visit us online at GuysDoors.com.
Don't think twice. Call Geis. Don't think twice. Call Geis.
Traffic is sponsored by Hall Mazda Milwaukee. Visit hallmazdamilwaukee.com.
Be our eyes on the roads. Report accidents, slowdowns, and road conditions to the WTMJ Hall Mazda traffic tip line at 414-238-9329. Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 3:30. I'm John Mercure. More information about the fallen officers in Barron County.
I'm Sandy Max. Louisville, the latest location of a mass shooting.
And I'm Bob Brainerd in for Greg Matzek. The Bucks play the waiting game for the postseason.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Southbound 41 going to be slow just south of Capitol Drive all the way to Mayfair Road. Pretty typical stuff, adding a couple of minutes onto your ride. Northbound side's going to be slow from Watertown Plank Road up past Swan Boulevard. Westbound 94 going to be a little bit tight through the Stadium interchange just west of 35th Street, where you're going to hit the brakes, and it lets up once you get past Mitchell Boulevard. Southbound on 43 on and off the brakes, basically from just south of Good Hope Road all the way down past Silver Spring. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight, clear skies, a low of 51 degrees. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, breezy, a high of 77. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, both officers and the suspect have been identified in the fatal traffic stop in Barron County.
According to a press release from the Wisconsin Department of Justice, who are leading the investigation, 32-year-old Chetek police officer Emily Breidenbach and 23-year-old Cameron police officer Hunter Scheel were conducting a traffic stop based on a warrant as well as to check the welfare of the driver. 50-year-old Glenn Perry, after being notified of concerning behavior by Perry. That traffic stop turning into a shootout that left all three dead. Both officers pronounced dead at the scene, Perry at the hospital. Officer Breidenbach had 4 years of service with Chetek PD, and Officer Scheel had 1, only graduating from the Law Enforcement Academy in December of last year. Wyatt Barmore-Pooley, WTMJ News.
Donna Bukowski works for the city of Chetek. She tells WTMJ's Steve Scafidi and Carol Kane she was one of the last to see Officer Breidenbach hours before she was killed.
We stood there and talked, and she talked about what a beautiful day it was, and it was way too nice to be indoors writing reports as she's literally waving to people as they drive down the street. They'd honk at her. I never in a million years thought a couple hours later I would never see or talk to her again.
Donna Bukowski says officers from across the region have come to Barron County to assist the Chetek Department during this time.
The Chetek mayor, Jeff Martin, telling TMJ4 News that Breidenbach was deeply involved with the community, including local schools.
This officer was very involved in our schools, and so this is going to be a tough week for Chetek kids. It's going to be a tough week for us, but we'll get through, and with God's help and with each other's help.
The two officers killed in Barron County this past weekend marked the second and third officers to be killed on duty this year, following Milwaukee police officer Peter Jerving's death in February. There were no on-duty Wisconsin deaths of police in 2022.
A mass shooting at a bank in Louisville, Kentucky this morning has left 4 dead and 9 injured, including Louisville police officers. One officer, Nicholas Wilt, is in critical condition. Louisville's interim police chief, Jackie Gwynn Villaroyel, gave an update on the investigation so far.
This will be a long, complex investigation involving local, state, and our federal partners.
Authorities say the suspect, 23-year-old former employee at Old National Bank, he was killed by officers at the scene.
Over $1 million is now owed to the family of 2 people killed in a 2019 house fire. Milwaukee landlord Will Sherrard has long faced legal action for failing to keep his rental units up to code, with over 3,000 violations in 5 years. But now a Milwaukee County Circuit Court judge has ordered Sherrard pay $1.35 million for an electrical violation that killed Clarence Merle and Patricia Colston just days after moving into one of Sherrard's units.
Go West, young men. Bob Brainerd explains in sports next.
Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time 3:34. Here's a great way to brighten up your Monday or Tuesday. Enjoy a free dinner at the historic Fox and Hounds restaurant. WTMJ's John Mercure here. You got to check this out. I love the Fox and Hounds. It's a one-of-a-kind dining destination, and your second dinner is free. There's no gimmicks, no coupons. Here's how it works. You put your seats in the seats, and half your dinners are free. Order your favorite steak, seafood, pasta, fresh salad, grilled salmon, anything on the menu, and your second dinner is free. Ice cream, drinks, and desserts. I love this. Also, buy one, get one free. Choose from over 100 wines, 20 fine bourbons, a great beer list to complement your dinner. The Fox and Hounds sits right there in the heart of the Kettle Moraine Forest. The setting is breathtaking. It's perfect to celebrate a birthday, anniversary, retirement, or just a quiet dinner with your sweetie. Wherever you live, it's worth a beautiful drive to the Fox and Hounds for your free dinner tonight. Just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of Holy Hill. Locally, family-owned, and hey, maybe think about Wednesday. Buy one prime rib dinner. Get one free. Just Google it. Fox and Hounds Restaurant. Reserve your table and enjoy your free dinner. It's the Fox and Hounds.
Doors of Wisconsin. Up to bat is Pella's award-winning Easy Slide innovation. Look at that effortless horizontal window slide, letting in lots of light. And that roll, it's a double play. Like magic, the screen disappears when the window is closed. On deck is Pella's Reserve Series patio door, featuring the best lifetime warranty in the industry. Just look at that slide. It's a perfect fit. Order by April 30th and get 0% for 48 months at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Here's Bob Brainerd.
Wade Miley against Zach Gallen in Phoenix tonight as the Brewers kick off a 10-game road trip in Arizona. Off and running are the Crew with a record of 7-2. Manager Craig Counsell, he's been impressed with the team effort.
We're getting contributions. I mean, you can pick everybody in the lineup now, and we've got contributions from the first 9 games. Big contributions in the first 9 games from everybody. When you're getting that kind of all around the lineup, that's what good stretches of baseball look like. Lots of players contributing, and that's what we're doing right now.
Catch the pregame coverage at 8 p.m. right here on 620 WTMJ. The Bucks will play the waiting game this week before hosting Game 1 of their opening round playoff series at Fiserv Forum next Sunday. The NBA play-in games will determine the opponent, but Giannis knows this. Milwaukee took care of business in the regular season to grab that number 1 seed in the postseason. And that could be a tipping point on this playoff journey.
It's a great feeling to play Game 7 at home. That doesn't guarantee you that you're going to win the game. Nothing, as I've said it multiple times, nothing is given. You have to earn every single thing. But playing a Game 7 at your house gives you better possibilities to be successful. And we've worked all year long to have the best record in the league and have home court advantage against every team in the NBA. And hopefully we can take advantage of that.
How about some Aaron Rodgers discussion?
Oh, my. Is there something to discuss?
Well, I'm making it up. But they're still jonesing, by the way, in the Big Apple to get this deal done. But they're also growing a little impatient, as we are in Wisconsin. Here is WFAN's Craig Carton's take today and his frustration with the Jets promising to deliver the goods.
You can't dance this dance and now not deliver the franchise, even if it's for 1 year, on Aaron Rodgers. And I know for a fact, if this does not get done prior to the draft, Aaron Rodgers will not be a New York Jet. He won't be.
Craig says, that he knows for a fact. And the draft is about 17, 18. Who in sports radio knows for a fact? Knows any facts. But
and if they do, they get shouted down by Aaron himself, right? You don't know me.
That's sports radio. But to his point, the draft is about 17, 18 days away.
Yeah.
If it doesn't get done and you are truly trading draft picks, which most of this deal is going to be draft picks, if you don't get it done, then the Jets are on the clock and they're going to be using the picks that the Packers are supposed to get. So say what you will about this, quote-unquote ghost deadline of the NFL draft. Something does have to get done. Otherwise,
But it could be draft picks next year, right? The Packers could wait till
No.
that date we hear about after June. You know, they get relief on this cap number. It could be next year's draft
John,
picks.
No.
Why?
Because if you're Green Bay and you send Aaron Rodgers packing and you have nothing this year tangible to replace him, I don't think that's going to sit too well with the village up there in Ashwaubenon. I just don't. You have to have something, whether it's draft picks or players or something tangible this year. Otherwise, it's basically like he left.
I just think there's no firm deadlines. I mean, if he's still a Packer and draft day comes and when the calendar flips till May 1st, I mean, we still don't want him. We're still going to get rid of him, or he's going to pretend he's going to retire and walk away from $60 million, which, by the way, is never going to happen.
You know what scenario I want? I want him to stay in Green Bay and back up Jordan Love.
Oh, that would be sweet.
On the sidelines. Yes.
Yeah, that'd be good. I vote for that, too.
What is that, eating crow? What is he? That's going to. We've seen a lot of stink face from Aaron Rodgers before. That is going to be, if that happens, that would be some very special.
And he would
stink
do
face.
it. He's not walking away from $60 million.
No. Darkness retreat on the sidelines, my friend.
Oh, that's
Stay
so
there,
good.
number 12.
It is 3:40 at WTMJ. Something nice up next.
Grandview buys homes. Hi, I'm Tom Delich here to tell you Grandview will buy your home in any condition. Wait a minute, you ask. What about water damage? Yes, Grandview will buy your home. Mold in the attic? Yes, we'll buy your home. Cracks in the foundation? Yes, Grandview will buy your home also. The fact is, we buy homes in any condition. Maybe your home hasn't been updated in 20 or 30 years. No problem. Grandview will buy your home. Or maybe your belongings are stacked up to the ceiling and you just need to move on. Grandview will buy your home too. Not only do we buy homes in any condition, you don't have to lift a finger to sell your home. We'll give you a fair cash offer in 48 hours and close on the day you choose. Then only take the belongings you want and leave the stress and the mess to us. The folks at Grandview understand your situation and will always treat you with dignity and respect. So sell your home as is today. Call the name you know and the name you trust. GrandviewHomes.com.
The world can be a messy place.
Yep.
And we at Wisconsin's Afternoon News think it could do with a little more nice.
Nice.
Oh, that's nice.
Say something nice to me.
This is Something Nice on Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
John, Bob, you're both parents.
Mm-hmm.
Last time I checked.
How many pairs of
Best
shoes
job ever.
do you think you've bought your children over the years?
Oh, my. Well, I have two girls that are 30, so I'm going to go 300.
Wow.
I'm not exaggerating.
And I think, that's probably quite accurate, especially in the childhood years. Bob?
See, I'm going to go on the low end only because my kid is sort of, I don't want to say he's a cheapskate because I'm buying the shoes, but he has like 2 pair of shoes at a time and then just wears them until they absolutely fall off, until I have to pry them off of him because, A, they
You're
stink.
lucky.
I know, but I will take him shoe shopping and say, dude.
He's not interested, huh?
No, he's interested. They feel comfortable. I break them in. I like them. I want to keep them on my feet. Not 24/7, young man.
He's
So
not
we went on a
keeping them
cruise.
together with duct tape, is he?
We went on a big Caribbean cruise, and the girls decided they would bring one big suitcase with their clothes, which was mostly bathing suits. The other suitcase was completely full of shoes.
Of course.
There were like 32 pairs of shoes and flip-flops. So why do you ask, though, Sandy?
Wow.
Yeah, it was insane.
That is. Do your daughters wear the same size?
Yeah, they're twins, and I think they do.
That helps.
See, that
That
really
helps.
helps. Oh, that's a whole new world. Well, as parents, here's the deal. It takes at least 15 pairs of shoes for a child to grow from a toddler to a teenager.
Wow,
Because
at
you're-
least. So
yeah.
even if you just bought one new pair each time they grew,
Yep.
15?
Yeah, that's before we
Wow.
even get into styles and preferences.
yeah.
That's just keeping your feet covered. Well, an entrepreneur and his childhood buddy have developed a shoe that grows with kids.
No, they haven't.
Yes.
No.
It's called the Areto shoe. And it kind of looks like a blend between a sneaker and a Croc. So there's kind of this over-covering over the sneaker, but it uncurls as the child ages, which solves the problem not only of adjusting to the foot while it grows, but also reducing excessive waste of constantly having to buy new shoes every 3 months or so.
But does it look good? Like, would girls wear this shoe?
It looks sporty. It's sporty and
All right,
fun.
I'm coming over about your
I would
computer.
say some of the styles are named Happy Hopper, Submariner, Firefighter, Candy Floss comes in pink, They almost look like scuba shoes, don't they?
Those are terrible. Over at your microphone. We've never done this before.
Would your daughters ever wear these sporty shoes?
Maybe, if your kid is sporty. If your kid's a sporty kid.
But it's sporty. It's not. What's the word? Not
but
orthopedic.
They're not like sneakers.
Yeah,
right.
like they don't look like corrective.
They
look sporty.
Since you guys have the view, at what age do you think a child would get when they would say, "Yeah, I'm not doing that anymore"? I mean,
girls, I think, Bob. I think girls would not do that.
Would not wear the colorful
not for
shoe?
very long.
Not for very long. Okay.
But to your point, Sandy, they could maybe have this shoe as one of their primary shoes. Then, of course, you'd have other shoes.
Sure.
But
especially,
I
I think,
that
for
idea.
toddlers as you're growing your feet,
Yes.
because these two entrepreneurs from India worked with childhood podiatrists, because here's something I never quite realized. You got all those nerve endings in your feet and teaching your muscles how to grow. So if you're not wearing the right shoes or too small shoes or too big shoes, that can kind of assess your gait and maybe even your coordination as you're learning to walk.
So I didn't
and
get a
be
great
mobile.
look at the picture. How do they go
What they
from
look like?
small to big? Are they rolled up? How do they?
It's the inside, so it's going to be smaller, and then it's going to grow
Ah,
whether
okay.
your foot widens
So
or lengthens.
inside, so the outside looks the same.
Yes.
Doesn't look
Yes,
stupid.
exactly.
The inside's an erector set. The outside is a shoe.
All right.
But they wanted to give children a fit for all cycles, and when feet grow, they can do it. And they're also made with recyclable materials.
One more quick question. How
Yeah.
expensive are they?
That is a good question. They are $22 to $31.
Wow.
And
Okay.
available
Then I would try that for
internationally.
sure.
Yeah, I'm back in.
Yeah, me too.
See, exactly. It is the
Interested.
Aretto, Aretto. If you have a new one on the way, or have somebody who's just growing through shoes like wildfire.
That is something
That is
nice.
something nice,
It is
see?
for sure. It is 3:45 at WTMJ. The latest on that tragic situation in northwest Wisconsin. We're live on the scene in Cameron. Up next.
Everything you need to know on your way home.
Former President Trump has been charged with around 24 counts, including felonies.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News with John McCure.
My daughter's 30 years old. She's like, "What are you reading?" I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm reading the notes from my Hickam pool." She's like, "What?" "Yeah, Major Garrett, you need to read this."
Sandy Max.
This whole experiment shows that birdsong can relieve anxiety and paranoia.
And Greg Matzek.
None of it makes sense, but it rarely does when the NCAA is involved.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 on WTMJ.
With so much confusion in our world, I trust Catholic schools because they partner with us parents, and what they're teaching is in line with our values. Every day starts with prayer, and the focus on faith is shaping their character and helping prepare my kids for life, giving them the conviction to do what's right. My kids are getting a great education at Catholic schools, and I encourage your family to join us.
Catholic schools. Be a part of something greater. Find a Catholic school near you at archmill.org/greater.
Vince Vitrano here for Johnson & Sons Paving. Driveway, walkway, parking lot, repairs or complete repaving. This is the quality, family-owned local company you can trust. Johnson & Sons does everything in-house, from designing your project to mixing their own concrete and asphalt. They're so proud of the work they do, they put their family name on the company. You'll find plenty of Johnsons. You won't find subcontractors. When you hire Johnson & Sons, you get them every step of the way. It's one-stop shop for projects of any size. JohnsonandSonsPaving.com.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA and founder of Right Choice Tax Resolution. I just finished writing a book about my experiences dealing with the IRS. It is already a bestseller. The IRS is the most ruthless collection agency in the world. They can seize your bank accounts, garnish your wages, and even take your house. The state can deny your professional license as a teacher, nurse, or other occupation. Do you want your employer to know about your problems? My book tells you what you can do so you don't have to worry about them ever again. Don't bury your head in the sand and hope the problem will go away. It will only get worse unless you step up and do something. We can help. We help reduce or eliminate penalties, negotiate payment plans, and represent you in tax audits. Make the right choice and go to rightchoicetax.us to book a call or meeting right now. We know you want to take the first step in getting the IRS off your back so you can live again. That's rightchoicetax.us.
Traffic is sponsored by Weniger Compressor, ready to service any facility at pressureisoff.biz. Weniger Compressor services all makes and models and carries high-performance compressors with a lifetime warranty. Contact Weniger at pressureisoff.biz.
Weniger Compressor.
Traffic and weather. All right, Debbie Lazaga, how we doing?
Well, we do have an accident on the Appleton Avenue on-ramp to 41 southbound. It's off on the right shoulder, though, and it's not on the main line. That's not where you're seeing the delays. The delays where you're seeing kicking in right about at Silver Spring, all the way past Capitol Drive down to about Mayfair Road. Northbound side slow from Wisconsin Avenue up past Watertown, or actually past Swan Boulevard. Westbound 94, a little bit tight through the Stadium interchange. And then we've also got some delays basically from about Bender Road down to about Hampton Avenue. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, mainly clear skies, a low of 48. Tomorrow, sunny, a high of 75. Wednesday, sunny, a high of 77. Thursday, sunny, a high of 76. Friday, cloudy, a high of 70 degrees. Want to get you the latest on that tragic situation in northwest Wisconsin where 2 police officers have been killed and a community is in mourning. TMJ4's Kaylee Starl is with us. Kaylee, good afternoon. Thanks for being with us.
Yeah, hi, John. It's good to be here.
I want to start with some of the basics for people who are still getting up to speed on the story. What do we know as far as what went down? How did this happen? What transpired?
Sure. So on Saturday afternoon, there was a traffic stop that happened, and Officer Emily Breidenbach conducted that traffic stop. We know that gunfire was exchanged between that suspect. That name was just released in a press release. And when officials got on scene, they did find 2 officers dead. That other officer was Officer Shield from Cameron and Officer Breidenbach from Chetek.
Is it believed that Breidenbach responded and Shield was providing backup or vice versa? Do we know any of that sort of detail where they shot at close range? What do we know?
You know, I don't know right now. We did just get a press release into our newsroom kind of detailing more of what went down, and we'll have crews on that at TMJ4 News later tonight.
So let's talk about the community. This is a very small community. When I was at TMJ4, I remember covering a couple stories up there. It's small, it's close-knit. Barron County is really a series of just small villages and towns. Tell us about the community and how they're handling things today.
Yeah, John, that's exactly it. You know, I spoke with the mayor yesterday. We've been here for the past 24 hours, and this community is just over 2,000 people. We were standing outside the Chetek Police Department where there is a memorial that just keeps growing. And I'll tell you, every person that stopped by knew that officer. They knew Emily, who worked with the Chetek Police Department. They say she was super involved with the community, with helping kids in schools. And, you know, the same was true for Officer Shields. So this tragedy just really hits close to home. A lot of people said that they didn't think something like this would happen in their community, and it just makes it that much worse.
Kaylee Starl is with us, TMJ4. She is up in Barron County. Very small departments also. Chetek, 5 full-time officers and some part-timers. Cameron, 3 full-time officers and some part-timers. How does that play into how those communities move forward here?
Sure. So talking with the community, a lot of people say that these officers, they're not like officers you find in a big city. These officers play more of a community role. They're out, you know, getting meals with people. They're out saying hello on the streets. And so moving forward, you know, I think that they're going to keep being that central figure in the community. So that way the community has someone to rely on. And likewise, those officers have the community to rely on.
Earlier today, Kaylee, the mayor was even talking about how involved the police officers have been with schools in the past. Are you seeing that in your coverage today?
Yeah, so on social media, there are lots of videos, especially of Emily just, you know, reading to kids in schools. And she ran a therapy dog program. We also saw Officer Shield, you know, interacting with kids, showing them his squad car. So these 2 people, I've been told by many, were bright lights in the community, and they will be missed.
So speaking of lights, I know the community is undergoing an effort right now to put up blue lights, which is a light you display to support law enforcement. There are ribbons going up. There are gift cards being collected. Gift baskets are being assembled. Can you talk about those efforts and how the community is really trying to make a difference?
Yes. So at the spot of the tragedy, when we were there yesterday, there was a cross that went up with Emily's name at both police departments in Cameron and Chautauqua. There are squad cars with growing memorials. There's flowers and stuffed animals and toys. And the community, they've just, constantly been visiting these departments to pay their respects. And I think you're going to see a lot more of that in the weeks and months to come.
Do we know anything about motive?
I do not right now.
So there will be a press conference coming up here at 4 o'clock, I believe. Do we know who will speak at the press conference?
Yes, the Barron County Sheriff is expected to speak. He's kind of the point of contact for this whole incident. He's supposed to provide more details, mainly thanking the community, not really telling too much about the case and what happened.
Kaylee Starl is with us from Northwest Wisconsin.
And we expect that procession sometime this evening. What will the route of the procession for these two officers be?
Well, this morning they did leave, these two officers. They left from Barron to go to a medical examiner's office in Minnesota. They are doing autopsies there, and when those are done, they will head back here home in Barron County sometime between 5 and 8 p.m.
Kaylee Starl, TMJ4, you've done great work the past couple of days. Kaylee, thank you so much for spending some time with us.
Of course, thank you.
So we plan to bring that news conference to you. It's scheduled to start at 4 o'clock. You know how that goes, but if we can, we will bring that to you. That is the plan on this tragic story. Then coming up during the 5 o'clock hour, a news account I read, I have in front of me actually, says 2 officers killed during a routine traffic stop. There is no such thing as a routine traffic stop. And this is evidence of that. What do police officers think about? Our law enforcement expert, Detective Steve Peterson, will be with us coming up at 5:15. Business headlines are up next right here on WTMJ. John Mercure here with a couple of words for Griffin Ford in Waukesha. Bought a Ford Explorer at Griffin Ford. You know why? They've got the best service. They've got the best selection. It's easy to shop there. They've got the cars on the lot ready for delivery. It's Griffin Ford in Waukesha. And due to a recent retirement, Griffin Ford is in search of an experienced new car manager with proven leadership, managerial, and team player abilities. Griffin Ford Waukesha has been in business for over 50 years. Jim Griffin and his team there are the real deal. One of Wisconsin's highest volume Ford dealers. If you have what it takes and you're looking to work for a family-owned business with really good chance to make really good money for your family, check out Griffin Ford. Looking for somebody who's motivated, that can monitor the performance of the new car sales team, conduct daily and weekly sales training meetings for that team, ensure the highest quality customer satisfaction is defined by the Ford Motor Company, attention to detail, strong closing skills. Check them out if you're looking for a great career opportunity. It's Griffin Ford in Waukesha. And they've got the vehicles, too, if you're shopping for a car. 130 new ones in stock, ready to ship, including the F-150, all sorts of good stuff with a top-tier service department as well. It's Griffin Ford, Waukesha. Business headlines, it's Sean Ryan at the Milwaukee Business Journal.
Milwaukee County dedicates a $5 million federal grant to renovate foreclosed suburban houses so they can be sold to new owners. 19 homes would be rehabbed through that effort. Harley-Davidson said a groundbreaking is a few weeks out for its transformation of a parking lot at its Milwaukee headquarters. That property will reopen in summer 2024 as a park and community space. The city of Wauwatosa is defending its approval for a warehouse business to take over land previously considered for more than 500 apartments. That's against a challenge by a Milwaukee resident and local urban planner. This is Sean Ryan with MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on News Radio WTMJ.
Business headlines sponsored by the Pfister Hotel. Make your reservations today. Visit thepfisterhotel.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
For 130 years, the Pfister Hotel in downtown Milwaukee has set the standard for excellence in hospitality. Its reputation for offering impeccable service and luxurious accommodations is simply unmatched. For your next getaway, pamper yourself with a stay at the Pfister Hotel. Enjoy an evening of fine dining at its classic restaurant, Mason Street Grill. Unwind with a skin, body, or hair treatment at the Pfister Well Spa and Salon. Take in live music with a view from the 23rd floor at Blue Cocktail Lounge. Make your reservations today. Visit thepfisterhotel.com.
Outdoor living is great, but it's best when it's at your own home. Well, there's a company called Outdoor Living Unlimited that will build you a deck, a patio, pergola, fire pit, all manner of things to enhance outdoor living at your place, even an outdoor kitchen. Get started right away. Contact Outdoor Living Unlimited now. Get your yard project onto Outdoor Living Unlimited's calendar while there's still openings. OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
I want to talk about annuities and variable life insurance policies. And I'm going to come right out and say that I've never been a fan of either. In fact, in over 30 years, I have rarely recommended annuities to clients. And in that same time, I've never recommended a variable life insurance policy. Now, it's always a matter of opinion, and there are two sides to every story. I just want to make sure that you've heard both sides for both options. So if you're looking at those types of products, give us a call, because it's prudent to hear all sides. At the very least, we can give you the pros and cons and help you make a good decision. I'm Jim Cantrell with Financial Strategies, Inc., a fee-only, comprehensive financial planning firm. And I believe we can show you a wiser way to build your wealth. So go to financialstrategiesinc.com and schedule a no-cost consultation.
Financial strategies, a wiser way to build your wealth.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Traffic is sponsored by TaybackAttorneys.com. Veterans benefits denied? Call Tayback for the payback.
Call Tayback for the payback. Tayback Law is the local veterans benefit claims law firm. They're now accepting Camp Lejeune claims. Call Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com.
We're back in the desert, and this time it's the real deal.
Hit in the air to right and deep. Get up! Get up! Get out of here! Gone for Garrett Mitchell!
The Brewers take on the Diamondbacks for a 3-game series, starting tonight at 8:05 on News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
I'm John Mercure. Let's get right to breaking news from Northwest Wisconsin. It is Barron County. 2 officers shot and killed. A live press conference taking place right now.
To say the least. In addition to changing the lives of their families and friends forever, this event has touched me, my department, local law enforcement, and law enforcement around the world. It has also made a direct impact on our community. Through this unfortunate series of events, I understand the community is also grieving. I ask that you respect the privacy of our officers, but more importantly, the families and friends of Hunter and Emily. I want to thank everyone for your generous donations, words of affirmation, and most of all, your continued support as we struggle to get through this. We will get through this. We are in the process of setting up an account for monetary donations, and I expect to have the information for you on our Facebook page within the next day. I will not be answering any further questions. Thank you.
Emily Breidenbach.
You've been listening to a live press conference which continues now from Barron County.
And the Stoughton Police Department in Dane County for 9 months prior to coming to Chetek. Chief Ron Ambrositis will have a brief statement.
My name is Chief Ron Ambrositis with the Chetek Police Department. I want to start by thanking the residents of Barron County for the support they've shown my department. The amount of support has been very overwhelming. Thank you. I also want to ask the public to give my department time to grieve and to have time with their families. Chetek Department will be back, and we will pull through this, and we will be Emily Strong. Thank you.
Our prayers go out to the families of Hunter and Emily. Our thanks go out to everyone who stepped up and helped law enforcement for their support and prayers. From the blue ribbons, the blue lights, flowers, and hugs, we needed it. They need it. Our law enforcement community needed it. From the EMS, the fire, and the law enforcement support has been overwhelming. We couldn't do it with all of us working together. So we thank everyone for their support. DA Brian Wright will have a brief statement about how DCI handles this and where it goes from here.
I want to thank the Division of Criminal Investigations. They arrived promptly by Saturday evening. They were set up and began their investigation. The DCI investigation is going to take approximately 30 days, at which point they will be sending a report to my office, and then the District Attorney's Office will be preparing a report that will be made public after my review of the investigative report. So I would anticipate that that's probably going to be about 30 to 45 days at most. I can tell you these are two outstanding officers, and they deserve nothing more than this report that's going to be coming from the DA's office being done in an expedited manner. I think that's the least that we can do for the families of both officers and certainly for the community as a whole. So we'll have that report done as soon as we receive the investigative report in an expedited way. That'll be about 30 to 45 days.
Thank you, DA Wright. Some community events taking part that I want to announce. There will be a community vigil on Wednesday night, April 12th at 7 p.m. at Mosaic in Cameron. All community members are welcome to attend. This is put on by our Law Enforcement Foundation of Barron County.
You've been listening to a live press conference from Barron County Law Enforcement and the District Attorney talking about the tragedy there. 2 police officers from the small towns of Chetek and Cameron killed on Saturday. We'll continue to monitor what happens there and bring you updates as they happen throughout the afternoon. Sports with Bob is up next. News is sponsored by the Pfister Hotel. Make your reservations today, and by Siding Unlimited. It's siding and a whole lot more online at sidingunlimited.com.
Integrity. Your home's integrity depends on the roof, on the windows and doors, on the siding. When your home's integrity fails you, you need the people who won't. Siding Unlimited. The dad started a siding company, called it Siding Unlimited, brought up sons Eric and Aaron Brown to be trustworthy, to value their own integrity, and after college to take over the Siding Unlimited biz. The boys expanded Siding Unlimited beyond siding to windows and doors, roofs and decks, your home's integrity factors. Now you can buy those things from lots of people, but I wouldn't. I value the integrity of Eric, Aaron, and the talented American craftsmen that are the Siding Unlimited team. And I'm not just their spokesman. I'm a Siding Unlimited customer. Reliable, truthful, talented, and trustworthy. Winners of many industry awards and customer accolades. They are sidingunlimited.com.
Is inflation busting or benefiting your financial plan? Hi, it's Dan Needles, retired sportscaster. Retiring during these uncertain times has many of us feeling a bit concerned. Between inflation, rising interest rates, and market volatility, there's a lot that's happening that could derail anyone's financial life. So let's talk about it. Join me on Thursday, April 27th at the Milwaukee Marriott West for a panel discussion with Jeff Kowal and the Kowal Investment Group advisors as we examine how today's inflation rate could bust or benefit your retirement plan. The fiduciary advisors at Kowal Investment Group are uniquely qualified to help those with at least $750,000 in investable assets. If you're not already working with one of their advisors, like I am, you won't want to miss this discussion. This is a free event, but be sure to register early as seats are limited. For additional details and to reserve your seat, visit thekowalway.com today. That's K-O-W-A-L, thekowalway.com. I hope to see you there.
Kowal Investment Group is a registered investment advisor.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Here's Bob Brainerd.
Brewers were terrific at home. Now can it carry over on the road? A 10-game trip out west begins tonight in Arizona against the Diamondbacks. Christian Yelich credits team bonding as a big reason for the 7-2 start.
I think everybody really likes each other in this room, and we've spent a lot of time in spring training and even the beginning parts of this season, like emphasizing togetherness and being connected and having each other's back, and it translates to the field.
Brewers baseball can be heard tonight at 8 p.m. right here on 620 WTMJ. UW-Milwaukee Hoops has dismissed sophomore wing player Justin Thomas from the team. Todd Rosiak from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel reporting that head coach Bart Lundy said Thomas did not adhere to team rules. The Bucks should be well rested by the time they take the court for their NBA playoff adventure. Game 1 is next Sunday at Fiserv Forum, with the opponent figured out this week with all the play-in jocketing sorting things out. Top to bottom, the Bucks feel like they have the bodies in place to make a deep run.
No, I mean, the more depth you have, the more versatility you have, options, guys that have been there, delivered. I think that's always great in the playoffs. I think we're excited, or we feel good about the quality of the roster, the depth of the roster.
That's Coach Bud. And from the bad timing department, the Timberwolves have suspended their star center, Rudy Gobert, for their play-in game against the Lakers tomorrow night. He won't play. Why, you ask? Gobert punched his own teammate, Kyle Anderson, during a disagreement in the huddle yesterday.
Oh, yeah, it is what it is. We move forward. We want to win games. It is what it is. I mean, it ain't the first time someone has swung on me. It is what it is. We keep it in-house. It is what it is. We'll speak about it and move on. We grown men. It is what it is. Let's move on.
That's Kyle Anderson, who got punched by Gobert, saying it is what it is.
He said that 5 times in like 10 seconds.
Yeah. Guess what, Kyle? You're moving on without your star defensive player in the middle in a game that you kind of need to have if you want to advance into the NBA playoffs.
By the way, Gobert is also the idiot that licked the microphone and acted like a moron at the beginning of the COVID outbreak.
You noticed, John.
Yep, me too. These are peas in a pod.
Come on.
It is what it is one of the worst phrases in the entire world, because you know what it really means? I'm not going to do anything to change it, is what they're repeatedly telling you. Whether you ask a boss for something and they say, it is what it is, it means tough luck, buddy.
Yeah.
Watch and see how the T-Wolves respond or don't respond in the playoffs. They have to face the Lakers, who are playing really well.
Yeah.
And if they lose that game, then they have to play another game just to try to get into the tournament field.
Yeah.
So good luck, Wolves.
Not going to be easy. All right, thank you. It is 4:10 at WTMJ. Who had a good weekend? That's up next.
Hi, I'm Mike Yancey from Yancey & Associates. We're passionate about continuing on our mission to help more Wisconsin businesses create more success. If you have any questions about our insurance products or just want a second opinion about your insurance or employee benefits, I invite you to check out ANSI.com, or better yet, give us a call at Yancey & Associates. And let's have a conversation about your business and how we can help you secure, protect, and grow your version of the American dream.
The World Eating Championship Burrito has arrived at Qdoba, featuring freshly grilled chicken, Qdoba's custom 3-cheese queso, hand-smashed guacamole, roasted tomato salsa, cilantro lime rice, and black beans. Packed with flavor and featured in the first ever World Burrito Eating Championship. It's available for a limited time only, exclusively online at Qdoba.com or on the Qdoba app. It's the World Eating Championship Burrito. Available now at Qdoba.com and the Qdoba app until April 21st.
When it's time for a new lawnmower, buying local is important. Purchasing one from Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment means you're well taken care of after the sale. Their knowledgeable staff handles the warranty and parts, can answer all of your questions, and is available to do tune-ups and repairs. Check out the impressive line of lawnmowers on display at the Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment showroom in Muskego. And tune in to the Fix-It Show this Saturday morning at 7, when an expert from Olson's will answer all your power equipment questions. It's time to upgrade that old patio furniture with By the Yard maintenance-free outdoor furniture. By the Yard furniture features no painting, no rotting, no splinters, no storage, ever. With over 400 items in 9 UV-stabilized colors, By the Yard is proudly made in the Midwest and backed by a 35-year warranty. Explore By the Yard's outdoor furniture collection at their showroom location in Mayfair Mall, Wauwatosa, or visit buytheyard.net. That's buytheyard.net.
Staples stores provide innovative products and services for small business, remote workers and learners, even teachers and parents. Explore more at your local Staples store.
For your new roof, we'll give you the hands-down best lifetime workmanship warranty in the industry. You can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air. Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here's John Mercure.
All right, Sandy's here. Bob's in for Greg, and Debbie is here. Adam is producing the show. Time for Who Had a Good Weekend. As we look back for a moment or two, I'll go first. Retired NFL superstar J.J. Watt had a good weekend. The Pewaukee native and his soccer star wife, Ojai, bought a sweet home in Phoenix that had belonged to NHL star Mike Modano. Watt paid $7 million for the 67-square-foot home, 5.5 baths, a suite pool, and views of Camelback Mountain. He also just got back from his first vacation with his young family, he says, their first family vacation. So I say our guy J.J. Watt had a good weekend. We had a good weekend.
Well done, J.J. About 50 people at Holler House on Saturday, about all that would fit in the tavern. The Professional Bowlers Association held a very special event on the historic lanes downstairs. They're over 100 years old, hand-oiled. They have people as pin setters instead of the machines.
Cool.
All to watch USA versus the world. Can you guess who won?
The USA.
Nope.
Boo.
The world. Jason Belmonte.
Boo.
He's the GOAT of bowling right now. Australian phenomenon.
Is he on the Live Tour?
No, he's not.
Okay.
No, he's not. He's a different kind of balls. Different kind of balls on this one. But
what
yeah,
a cool event.
Yeah, a really good time, a really unique event. Did a live stream, and now there's a slew of the best bowlers in the world at Bolero Wauwatosa.
Awesome.
For the World Series of Bowling now for the next couple of weeks.
Ooh, I like that. All right, Bob, who had a good weekend?
Can it be an inanimate object?
Sure,
Okay.
whatever you want.
My house had a really good weekend because the screens went on, and I know it's premature. I know I'm going to pay for it next week when we go back to real April temperatures. But to get the house aired out and to get some of that warmth coming in and just the outside air. So the screens went on, the doors were open, the windows were letting in some April spring.
So your house had a good weekend.
A whole week of it now, too.
Can't wait.
Yeah, we opened it up yesterday, too.
Me too.
All right, Adam, who had a good weekend?
Kind of to your point, Bob, all of our local meteorologists, I think, had a really good weekend because the last few weeks, especially the weekends, have been very busy for severe weather. We've had tornado outbreaks recently. So for this weekend, just nice and calm, nothing too dramatic, and a week ahead of it with temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. Our local meteorologists deserve a bit of a break. They had a good weekend.
All right. Good point. 4:16 at WTMJ. Debbie helps get you home up next.
The Bucks are coming back.
Giannis picks it up to the rim and scores and won. How about that?
And our team can't wait.
This is an exciting time to be a Bucks fan. The thing that I love about watching the Bucks is their teamwork. Whether it's downtown Milwaukee or whether it's Orlando, this is a great team, and I'm looking forward to supporting them all the way.
There may not be fans in the stands, but you can always listen here on the home of the Bucks, WTMJ.
Hey, John Mercure here for my friends at Dave Drake Camp Heating. We're officially in the midst of Be Prepared for Anything season. You know how this goes. Going to be almost 80 degrees this week. Then we could get a little bit of snow next week. I know, it's just that time, right? The recent sporadic temps may have you unsure about what's coming next, but you can always count on comfort with a call to Dave Drake Camp Heating, regardless of any out-of-whack weather changes. Get caught up on your system's maintenance by scheduling a system tune-up, or plan ahead for summer's heat and schedule a free in-home estimate to replace that struggling AC from last season. Now's the time to take advantage of Lennox's newly released early spring incentives on the industry's best, most efficient equipment. Inventories are back to healthy levels, and rebates are back on. With over 40 years as the Lennox premier dealer of Southeast Wisconsin, Dave Drake Heating will design you the most efficient, most comfortable system to replace the one you have. They did that for us several years ago. My home has never been more comfortable. Looking for a change and want to work for a winning team? Consider Dave Drake Camp. Visit davedrakecamp.com today.
All Brewers games are on sale now, including a marquee weekend matchup versus the Red Sox April 21st through the 23rd. Get the one-of-a-kind Yelly Tumbler Gate giveaway on Saturday, presented by American Family Insurance, and treat your crew to Brewers family fun on Sunday with special activities for kids, including Brewers player autographs and a chance to run the bases. Get your seats now at brewers.com.
Well-changing question. Are you keeping as much of your investment gains as possible? High taxes can erode returns quickly, so you need a tax-optimized portfolio. At Creative Planning, our money managers and specialists work together to make sure your portfolio and wealth are managed in a tax-efficient manner. It's what you keep that really matters. Why not give your wealth a second look? Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
Traffic and weather begins with Debbie Lazaga. Hey there, Deb.
Hey there, John. They're still working on this accident on the on-ramp from Appleton Avenue to southbound 41. Not too horribly bad, though, heading past that scene on the main line. We're looking okay, where you will start to hit the brakes just north of Hampton Avenue, all the way down to about Mayfair Road. Northbound, usual slowdowns right around Watertown Plank Road up past Swan. East and westbound on 94, a little bit tight through the stadium interchange itself. Southbound 43, going to be riding the brakes a little right past Hampton Avenue to Capitol, and then back on the brakes right through the Marquette interchange. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, clear skies, a low of 48 degrees. Tomorrow, sunny and breezy, a high of 75. On Wednesday, sunny and windy, a high of 77. Thursday, sunny, breezy, 76. Friday, partly cloudy, a high of 70 degrees. I want to tell you guys about a story, about something that happened to me over the weekend that was kind of disconcerting and odd. So on... It must have been Saturday. Yeah, Saturday I went to the grocery store. I went to my Pick and Save, which is really close to my house, and I load up my cart with stuff for Easter. So Michelle's been under the weather, and so we were going to go to Illinois and have Easter with my family. When she wasn't feeling well enough, I said, well, we're going to do it at home, honey. I'll just make Easter dinner. So I go to the grocery store and I buy everything you need for Easter. So I'm in there. I got the ham. I got the green beans because she likes that green bean casserole. I got potatoes, stuff for deviled eggs, asparagus, some dessert. And I put it in the cart, and I roll the cart out to the parking lot, and I'm rolling it up to my car. And I open up the hatch to my car, and the cart bangs into the car, and I'm kind of like, oh, God, come on. I just scratched my car, and I'm getting the bags out, and I'm having trouble. I get them in the car, and suddenly I hear from behind me, do you have any food? I was like, what's going on? What? And I turned around really quick, and there was a person there who looked upset and looked distraught, but looked well-kept. You know, they looked like they were walked out of a house somewhere. Do you have any food? Well, I'm loading a bunch in my car.
Just came from Pick and Save.
We're at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Said, I'm hungry, and I don't have food. Can you spare some of that food? And now I'm thinking, I can't lie and say I don't have food, like when you say to a panhandler, I don't have any money.
Right.
You see I have food. And so I'm thinking, well, I got cream of mushroom soup. I got a can of French fried onions. I got some green beans in a can. Nothing that I'm really going to be able to give you right now that's going to help you. And so I look in my bags, and she's standing there just very polite, just looking at me like she was about to cry. And so I gave her like a carrot cake that I had just bought in the grocery store, and I had some apples. I gave her a carrot cake and some apples, and I'm rummaging through the thing, and she looked like I had just given her $1 million. So I gave her the food, and I was kind of rattled, oh, wow. And I was like, should I take her back in the store and buy her a cart full of groceries? Should I?
Aww.
And by the time I turned around, she had thanked me. She thanked me. And then she was at another car saying, could I please have some food? I'm just hungry and I want some food. And it just shocked me. In my suburban Pick and Save in Menominee Falls, I didn't expect that, but hunger exists everywhere, obviously. And then I found myself, as I went home, questioning myself, like, did I make the right decision? Was it right to give this person food? Should I have taken them in the store? And I felt good about it because I didn't give them money. Like, she can't trade a carrot cake probably for some meth. Whereas I'm always leery to give panhandlers money because I don't know what they're going to do with it.
Sure.
Buy booze or buy drugs. I mean,
you don't want to be enabling
Yeah.
You want to be
you know,
actually
2
helping.
apples you're not going to be able to trade in, for really any drugs. But it stuck with me and bothered me. And it just made me realize, here's Easter. And I was griping inside the Pick and Save because the person bagging my groceries was slow. And I wanted to get out of there. And I just was griping to myself. I didn't say that out loud, but I was like, come on, I got to go. I got to get home and get the ham in the crock pot. And then I walk out to my car, and here's a woman who is happy because I gave her 2 apples and a small carrot cake. And it's good perspective for me, for the world that we live in.
Well, and had to humble herself. That's got to be. I don't enjoy asking for help at work. Those simple things. It's like, oh, I can't get this done by myself. I'm like, oh, I don't want to do. Like, I already feel sheepish about something like that. This is a survival skill. This is a basic need, and she had to come up to a stranger
on Easter Sunday.
That couldn't feel good for her. Bless her
on
heart.
Easter weekend, and asked for food, and she didn't ask for money. She didn't ask. No. She wanted food. She said, "I'm hungry."
It was first and foremost, and yet you kind of respect the courage, if that's the right word, to go and say, "I'm going to swallow my pride." Yep. And I'm going to go to a grocery store. I'm going to ask people directly for what I need to survive and get through this day.
And I've never heard of that scenario before.
No.
I've just never, we all see people at streetlights who are asking for money and holding the little signs. But to be in a grocery store, if you're hungry, she went to the right place, obviously.
Yeah,
we're all wheeling out carts full of food. Here I'm bitching because the ham is $1.88 a pound, and this woman just wants to eat.
Well, this brought out some good in you. I think you certainly had yet another option of, I'm sorry, ma'am, and shut your trunk and driven away.
And in some instances, well, not at the grocery store, 'cause this never happened, but I've done that. Most of us have, I think. You say no to the panhandler. And then I kept thinking, man, thank God I didn't do that. It would have been easy to just go, nope, sorry, got to go, which is my instinct usually. I think it was partly because she startled me. And I would have felt really terrible if I had gone home, had time to think about it, and saw that look in her face, because that look was sad. That look was, I'm hungry. Can you give me some food?
And that's the judgment call you make as one human to another human, seeing her face and hearing her voice.
Yeah, it was just a crazy story and a good reminder.
It's the other reminder of, I've had an experience in my family where people have been laid off, and by the time it got to be Christmas, the wife's coworkers did a collection because it was just unemployment. They hadn't lost their house. They weren't dirty and destitute, but it was hard times in that household. And again, how do you accept the kindness of others when they see it and give it? But you can feel good about being kind.
And how hungry you have to be to not go to the food bank, and we have one in Menominee Falls,
sure,
to not go to a church, to I'm hungry. I'm showing up at the grocery store and asking for food. It's just remarkable as I sat gluttonously eating my Easter dinner.
Well, I like the fact that you paid it forward to somebody who actually needed it and was. We hear the stories all the time of somebody in the drive-through line or at Starbucks. I'm going to pay for the person behind me and the person behind me.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fun, that's great, but everybody who's in line isn't going up to the teller saying, I really need a coffee and I have no money. Everyone plans on paying for that. And while it's a great gesture, I think, John, this is an even better gesture for somebody who, again, had to swallow their pride, not go to the food bank, not ask for money and then go buy food, just asking directly, I'm hungry, I need food.
Yeah, it's given me good perspective, that's for sure.
And something handy to have in your glove compartment. When I lived in Chicago, I used to have the pamphlet of a list of places that one could go for a variety of help. So I feel like I need that in my glove compartment again.
Yeah, not a bad idea. Time for the WTMJ Drake and Associates, time for the Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Annex Wealth Management, my friends at Annex. Pretty good day for the markets today. A lot of green. The S&P was up 4 points to close at 4109. The Dow was up 101 points to close at 33,586. NASDAQ was off, but just 3 points to close at 1284. Investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning is a fee-only fiduciary. This is not the time to set it and forget it. Get help now with the team I trust. That's at Annex Wealth. Visit annexwealth.com. Click the Get Started button today.
If you have joint pain and they're telling you surgery is your best option, you got to stop what you're doing and call QC Kinetics. Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. Professionals at QC Kinetics use the latest, most advanced regenerative treatments to bring lasting pain relief the natural way. Regenerative medicine harnesses your own body's healing agents to restore and repair damaged tissue in your knees, your hips, shoulder, and back. Precision treatments. They're all done in office, no drugs, and no downtime. QC Kinetics has hundreds of clinics all over America and thousands of satisfied patients. If your joints are aching from arthritis or injury, look beyond steroids and surgery. Discover the amazing possibilities with regenerative medicine, especially this time of year. We all want to be living life to the fullest, doing the stuff that we love the most. And if you can get lasting relief and avoid going under the knife, well, it makes sense to check it out, right? Call QC Kinetics now. It's a free consultation, no obligations. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Hey, don't wait. 414-285-3474.
I guess one of the biggest sacrifices that I think we made starting Penny Mustard was personal time.
Ben and Arvid Huth, brothers and owners of Penny Mustard Furnishings.
Yeah, we just lived, ate, and breathed work all the time for years. Yep. And moving from a town where I knew a lot of people, I was going to school in Eau Claire and kind of living the college life, to moving to Milwaukee and work all the time where I knew nobody. We didn't know anybody down here. Yep. And it took us a long time before we knew a lot of people down here. Well, we were working so much. And we were working a lot. Yeah. And that's hard, especially when you're in your younger 20s. Yeah. That's when you're supposed to be partying. I do remember, I think I was 31 before I actually stayed out till midnight on New Year's Eve. Holy cow. Because New Year's Day is a big day, and you were on the sales floor, and you can't stay out till midnight and do what you got to do the next day. That was like a milestone in my life where I actually stayed out till midnight because I didn't have to be at a store the next day. I was 31 years old already. That's impressive. And embarrassing. Well, probably.
See more at pennymustard.com.
Wisconsin, start your engines! Now is time to make summer plans for fast family fun at Elkhart Lakes Road America. Experience 10 major races from IndyCar to high-thrill NASCAR racing at the best NASCAR track in America. Bring the entire family out to America's National Park of Speed for affordable fun with on-site camping, parking, and free general admission for kids 16 and under with a paying adult. Road America offers world-class racing and so much more. Public karting, motorcycle and driving schools, off-road UTV riding, plus plenty of room to host your next company picnic, family reunion, or wedding. Visit roadamerica.com for the full schedule. That's roadamerica.com. Or call 800-365-7223. Road America, America's National Park of Speed.
Visit GetRoto.net for all your sewer and drain cleanup needs.
Call Roto-Rooter, that's the name, and away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 4:30. I'm John Mercure. New information about the two officers who died in Barron County.
I'm Sandy Max. The Louisville mass shooting hits home for the Kentucky governor.
And I'm Bob Brainerd in for Greg Matzik. The Brewers get ready to storm the desert in Arizona.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. We do still have a little bit of a backup along 41 southbound, basically from Silver Spring all the way down past Sutter Street. It's 18 minutes to get from Highway Q to the Zoo interchange. Eastbound 94, it'll be 9 to get from the Zoo into downtown. Those delays kicking in at about 76th Street through the stadium. The westbound side's at 8 minutes. And then we've also got some backup southbound on the bypass getting onto 894 eastbound through the Hale interchange. Watch for a little bit of a backup, basically starting from Beloit Road all the way to Forest Home. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight, clear skies, a low of 51. Tomorrow, sunny, breezy, mild, a high of 77 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, Barron County's officials giving an update on the two officers killed during a traffic stop over the weekend. Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald says he wants officers Emily Breidenbach and Hunter Scheel to be remembered for what they gave to their communities.
From Emily dancing in the football stands to Hunter at National Night Out with kids playing in the squad. This is why we do what we do here in Barron County.
Fallen officers will be escorted by a procession from the Midwest Medical Examiner's office in Minnesota to the funeral home in Barron County this evening, and a community vigil will be held at 7:30 on Wednesday night.
Donna Bukowski works for the city of Chautauqua, and she tells WTMJ Steve Scafidi and Carol Kane she was one of the last to see Breidenbach hours before she was killed.
We stood there and talked, and she talked about what a beautiful day it was, and it was way too nice to be indoors writing reports as she's literally waving to people as they drive down the street. They'd honk at her. I never in a million years thought a couple hours later I would never see or talk to her again.
Bukowski says officers from across the region have come to Barron County to assist the Chautauqua Department during this time.
The Chautauqua Mayor, Jeff Martin, telling TMJ4 News that this officer was deeply involved with the community, including local schools.
This officer was very involved in our schools, and so this is going to be a tough week for Chautauqua kids. It's going to be a tough week for us, but we'll get through, and with God's help and with each other's help.
These are the second and third officers in Wisconsin killed on duty this year following Officer Peter Jerving's death in February. There were no on-duty deaths in our state in 2022.
A mass shooting at a Louisville, Kentucky bank was live streamed as it unfolded this morning. Authorities say the suspect, who was an employee of Old National Bank, who opened fire around 8:38 a.m., officers responded within 3 minutes and killed the 23-year-old, but not before 4 people would lose their lives. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear learned one of the victims was a good friend, 63-year-old Tommy Elliott. He was emotional during the afternoon briefing.
Tommy Elliott helped me build my law career, helped me become governor, gave me advice on being a good dad. It's one of the people I talk to most in the world, and very rarely were we talking about my job.
9 people were also injured. One is a Louisville police officer who underwent brain surgery. He is in stable but critical condition.
Greg is off. Bob is in. Sports is up next.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 434.
Traffic this afternoon sponsored by Roto-Rooter, the sewer and drain experts you've trusted for over 85 years.
Experience, knowledge, results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Tune in on Sundays at 10 a.m. for the AccuNet Mortgage and Realty Show. Join AccuNet's Brian and David Wickert for the most up-to-date information on mortgage trends, along with timely news on the real estate market. The housing market is in flux, but the national headlines don't often fit local market conditions. Find out what's really happening on the front lines of real estate and mortgage financing in Wisconsin and make better decisions by tuning in every Sunday at 10 a.m. The AccuNet Mortgage and Realty Show with Brian and David Wickert on WTMJ.
Get everything you need to bring your yard back to life at the Spring Yard Prep event going on now at Fleet Farm. From power equipment to grass seed, we've got you covered so you can get your lawn looking great as spring comes around. And don't miss this great deal. When you buy 3 bags of Scott's Triple Shred Mulch, you get 3 free. Find everything you need in one stop during the Spring Yard Prep event now at Fleet Farm. Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Here's Bob Brainerd.
At 7-2, the Brewers sport the best record in the National League. The hot start will be put to the test beginning tonight as Milwaukee begins 10 games on the road, starting in Arizona against the Diamondbacks. Outfielder Garrett Mitchell credits everyone in the Milwaukee clubhouse being on the same page.
The energy as a team right now is really, really good, and we're pulling for each other, and we know that if one guy doesn't get it done, the next guy has a good opportunity to do the same thing. So it's really nice. It's really refreshing, too. Like I said, from rookies to veterans, we're all trusting each other just to go up there and do our part. So.
Pitching matchup tonight, Wade Miley and Zach Gallen. Pregame radio coverage is set for 8 p.m. right here on 620 WTMJ. The NBA playoffs tip off tomorrow night when play-in game action begins. The Bucks will be audience members until next Sunday when they get an opponent for Game 1 of their best-of-7 series. And if Sunday's Masters wasn't long enough, what with finishing round 3, then 18 more holes to determine a champion, Brooks Koepka, who was runner-up to Jon Rahm for the top spot on the leaderboard, wasn't thrilled with the pace of play.
You're a pretty fast player, as we know. Just curious your thoughts on the pace of play this afternoon.
Yeah, that group in front of us was brutally slow. John went to the bathroom like 7 times during the round, and we were still waiting.
So even John's trips to the John didn't speed things up. Koepka was irritated with Patrick Cantlay slow poking it in the fairway in front of him. Only one solution to address slow play.
4! Fine shot.
Oh! I should have yelled too.
Why don't we walk this off, sir?
Oh!
Yeah, just do as if Judge Schmales is slowing you down, then just take matters into your own hands, Brooks. That's what I say.
Yeah, I'm not a Brooks guy, so whatever. Stop your whining.
Caddyshack. Everything comes back to Caddyshack.
Always,
I'm
right?
telling you, it can all go back to this movie from the 1970s.
It doesn't hurt my feelings at all.
It is 4:38 at WTMJ. A very interesting perspective on the tragedy that's unfolded today in Louisville. That's up next.
I'm Randy Miller, owner of All Right Home Remodeling and current president of the Milwaukee chapter of NARI. For 3 generations, our family business has been about more than just our family. It's about the people who work for us and with us. It's about helping families improve their homes, which improves their lives. It's about honest work and fair pricing. It's also about paying it forward by giving back. Get started at ALLRITE remodeling.com.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here. A couple years ago, my knee was acting up. As an athlete, I've played through pain before, but it was getting to the point where I couldn't compete in the sports I loved. I decided to check out Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. It's the best decision I've made. I felt no pressure to have surgery. That was important to me. We had choices. I ultimately did choose to have a procedure. I was in and out in just hours and back in action shortly after. I recommend meeting their doctors. Visit orthowisconsin.com today.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
A tragedy in Louisville this morning. 4 people go to a bank and end up not walking out of there. They get killed inside that bank. 8 others inside that bank are injured in a mass shooting. The gunman also ends up dead inside that bank in Louisville, right in the heart of downtown. I heard this morning when I was getting in the shower, and 2 things happened. I immediately said a quick prayer, and then I, in the same breath, thought of Sandy, because you're from Louisville, and you talk so lovingly about your hometown, and it's a great city that I want to spend more time in. So I wanted to ask you a couple things. I guess first is your reaction when you heard this had happened in your city, where you still have many friends, and you have family, and you have deep connections.
I was walking in to WTMJ, and I got the text from my boyfriend, hey, shooting in Louisville. And I said, I'm logging on right now. And I got more texts from other friends, but I immediately welled up because you go through this thought process. What are the details? Are my friends and family safe? Like, oh no, another one. It's just, I was flooded with emotion. Didn't lose it, but I felt that emotion well up. And then when I saw where it is, this shooting happened at an Old National Bank on Main Street in Louisville. And that's exactly what it sounds like. It is downtown. Some of the biggest and best attractions and businesses are on Main Street. It's just a couple blocks west of the ballpark where the Louisville Riverbats play, which is one of the Cincinnati Reds farm teams. It's a couple blocks away from the Yum Center, where college basketball and all the big concerts play, just by the 2nd Street Bridge there that we were talking about before. What else is on Main Street? The Kentucky Science Center, the Louisville Slugger Museum. Like, this really is...
It's right there.
Yeah, it is right there where the cotton business was. That's why it's Main Street, and right there just off the river. The Ali Center is nearby. So this really is the business center and the downtown of Louisville. And to have this happen and to then find out the details that it happened in a bank. Is it a robbery? You're trying to put those pieces together, and then it was a flurry. I was surprised actually how many of our circle kind of connected. I reached out to my family. People are okay, but then I got other ripples of one of my dearest friends works for one of the theater companies. And it's a children's theater. And the Kentucky Center for the Arts is also on Main Street. And they had matinees planned.
Wow, so kids were on their way.
School buses were parked right outside the Kentucky Center for the Arts while the police are taping things down and locking things down. So they had to make the decision to go ahead and have the performance for the students there. It was safe there, but they called off the other performances and diverted the other school buses.
Wow, so the first one that was about to occur, they kept on.
Yeah. It's just this... How did this affect and halt life downtown? And the other really emotional thing for me is this is the town I grew up in. These were my teenage years. Main Street is where I had my prom dinner and was walking around taking pictures in my peach satin long gown with my high school buddies. You know, like you think of those times. It's like, oh, this can't happen where those fun memories happened. And springtime is Louisville's time. We are just weeks away from the Kentucky Derby. All the festivals are ramping up. All the events that happen outside to celebrate this historic tradition. This really is Louisville's time. And I don't know how long it's going to take to heal from this mass shooting.
So once you found out that your family and friends gratefully were okay, has it hurt your heart as the days gone on to find out that, I mean, this is your town. This is where you created the memories that you alluded to. This is where you've hung out. This is where you grew up.
And where I enjoy returning. Here was the most emotional part of the day for me when the live press conference happened. And I found myself holding my breath to hear the names of the shooter, of the victims. Do I know anyone? I just held my breath, and I was just so relieved, as selfish as this sounds, that I didn't.
Yep.
I mean, I know people lost family and friends, and I don't take away that, but I hadn't experienced that so personally before, because I didn't grow up here in Milwaukee. For as much as these things happen here, it's just a different dynamic. I feel like I'm a reporter. I'm sharing that information that you need to know. I haven't had that deep emotional connection.
You know, and the hard part is when this happens in a community, then you, if you're in the community, find yourself fighting to regain your reputation and to build the next headline, which is positive, which is something great, because for the time being, when people think of Louisville, they will think of what happened there today. Now, a great, vibrant city like Louisville, they will overcome. They will soon think about the Kentucky Derby. They will soon think about Layla Ali doing something great at the center in honor of her dad, or like the headline will change, but it hurts when it's your city that you love in the headline for the wrong reasons.
And that I'm not romanticizing Louisville. I mean, it's a special place to me, but certainly just like Milwaukee has its troubles, they've been in the spotlight since 2020 with Breonna Taylor and that shooting. And so the earth continues to turn, and I would like for these things to stop. Please. I wish I could wave a magic wand and make it stop. But as I always say when these things happen, boy, was it good to touch base with a whole lot of friends today. Hug your loved ones tighter. Always tell them you love them if you can. Don't be shy of doing that.
Well, and I'm glad everybody you know is okay. Tough day for sure.
Yeah.
It's 4:45 at WTMJ. We're going to switch gears up next. So I like to do this little thing on the show like today is like, hey, today's Nacho Cheese Day. Today's Wisconsin Day. Today's this, that, and the other thing. Today is National Siblings Day. So I want you to think about this. My brothers are my two best friends, and I'm blessed. I want you to hit us up on the talk and text line at 855-616-1620, 855-616-1620. Tell me about your siblings and what makes them so special. We're going to give you the chance for a shout-out. I would love to hear about your brother, sister, stepbrother, stepsister, that person that fills that role in your life. Call. We'd love to talk to you. Send us a text, 855-616-1620. What makes them so special? That's up next on WTMJ.
Whether it be dry desert heat or that muggy Midwest humidity, these bats are scorching hot. It's the Brewers and the Diamondbacks in Arizona. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 8:05. We are the home of the Brewers, WTMJ.
John Mercure here for Annex Wealth Management. Is now the time to put your investment and retirement planning in the hands of the professionals? It's a great time to talk to the folks I trust at Annex Wealth Management. It's not the time now to set it and forget it. Annex operates as one team. The financial planning team is in-house, the investment team in-house, not done by an outside contractor, Same with tax planners and the estate planning team. I've worked with all of them. You will always have a local team working on your behalf. Join me and Dave Spano on Wednesday, April 19th. I'm going to hang out with Spano beginning at 11 a.m. for a special webinar, Inflation and Rate Hikes and Bears, oh my. We'll cover a lot of ground, and Dave will share an historic perspective on how Annex views current challenges and opportunities. It's Wednesday at 11 a.m. Wednesday at 11 a.m. Won't you join us? This is going to be fun. Sign up at annexwealth.com. It's a free webinar for WTMJ listeners. Go to annexwealth.com. Sign up for our free webinar on April 19th at 11 a.m. Visit AnnexWealth.com and click the Get Started button to schedule your own appointment today to get in touch with the teams at Annex. The teams I trust are at Annex Wealth Management. Sign up for that webinar. It's Wednesday, April 19th, 11 a.m. Go to AnnexWealth.com. Proud partner of the University of Wisconsin. Fee-only fiduciary.
Bet you didn't know you and that outside faucet on your house have a lot in common. Just like you, they're sensitive to pressure. In my business, we call those doohickeys a hose bib. Eric Smith here from Austin Plumbing, Heating, and Air. And I know, right? Hose bibs, faucets, who cares? Well, we do. Because getting the wrong one or the right one installed wrong, well, that can be a real squirt in the pants. An embarrassing scarlet letter for the neighbors to see. One that says, "Hello, I don't know nothing about buying bibs or faucets." Friends, that's why Austin Plumbing is here, to take the pressure off you when it comes to those plumbing problems. We can put your watery woes and your sensible solutions in easy-to-understand terminology, although we also respond well to the wave of that hand. The one that says, "Yeah, okay, I trust you guys, just fix it." And we do. Worry-free plumbing. Sounds a lot better than Austin Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Online at teamaustin.com.
Traffic is sponsored by Hall Mazda Milwaukee. Visit hallmazdamilwaukee.com.
While you're navigating the roads as quickly and safely as possible, if you see something we should know about, call the WTMJ Hall Mazda Traffic Tip Line at 414-238-9329.
Traffic and weather begins with Debbie Lazaga. Hey there, Deb.
Hey there, John. Southbound on 41, we had this accident at Appleton Avenue's on-ramp off on the right shoulder. Right now, Highway Q to the Zoo is a 17-minute ride, so it's a 3-minute backup. Eastbound 94 will take you 10 minutes to get from the Zoo into downtown, so that'll be an extra 3 right through the stadiums where you're seeing those delays. Southbound 43, Brown Deer Road to the Marquette is going to be 15 minutes. You're looking at an extra 4 there. And while you're out navigating the roads as quickly and safely as possible, if you see something we should know about, give us a call. It's the WTMJ Hall Mazda Traffic Tip Line at 414-238-9329. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast for tonight: mostly clear skies, a low of 48 degrees. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and breezy, a high of 75. Wednesday, sunny and windy, a high of 77. Thursday, sunny, 76. My goodness, is what I'm talking about. Friday, partly cloudy, a high of 70 degrees. Right now in Milwaukee, it is 71 degrees.
Hey, brother, there's an endless road to rediscover.
So today's National Siblings Day. I want to give you a chance to shout out your brother or your sister. What makes them so special? Let's all learn from each other about what these relationships are like and what makes it so special. Give us a call. Shoot us a text at 855-616-1620, 855-616-1620. So there are 3 of us in my family. I'm the oldest of 3 boys. And my brother is a year and a half younger than me. Then the next brother is a year and a half younger than him. So growing up, it was the 3 of us were really close. God bless my mom. I don't know how she did it. I mean, really. We wanted to kill each other growing up, and some days in the front yard, we almost did. Usually because my middle brother was cheating at something. But I digress. So they're now probably my best friends. They both live in the Chicago area. And my youngest brother every year gives us, for Christmas, he takes us out to a nice dinner. We get an envelope, and he says, "This is where we're going this year." And so this year we went to Fogo de Chao, which is a Brazilian steakhouse. We went to a really fancy one down in Chicago. So I posted a picture on my Twitter and my Facebook. You can see me with my brothers hanging out on Saturday. We went down, we had the dinner, and I feel blessed, and I don't take it for granted because I know people have challenges. I know sometimes geography gets in the way for some people, and I am so blessed. And I think my mom says one of her greatest successes being a mom was that my brothers and I are close. And I never really got that. I was like, yeah, whatever, Mom, until now I have 2 kids who fought like cats and dogs in high school, and they are extremely close. My girls are like best friends, even though they live in New York and Texas. So now I totally get it.
That is good. That is quite an accomplishment.
You have a brother?
I have a stepbrother,
Mm-hmm.
but we are close enough. We were friends in high school and have stayed friends all along, so I typically call him my brother, or I call him by the affectionate nickname Freak. So usually, yeah, but and it's spelled Friek, so it's very inside and affectionate. But and I enjoy my stepmother. We have a running joke that she's not the wicked stepmother, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I was blessed to have a stepbrother and a stepmom who became part of my family. But the only thing about my stepbrother, the only thing about Freak is he's not a big phone chatter. But with the 21st century, we'll DM on Twitter or we'll text each other.
That works.
But yeah, he's a really vibrant artist and creative and interesting person. So I'd rather talk to him because he's so expressive and fun. But hey, I'll take what I can get.
A lot
but
of
we're
dudes
in touch.
don't like to talk on the phone.
No, that's coming.
Or is that just an excuse? Oh, that's coming. That's the setup for Bob.
That's the setup for
Yeah.
Bob. Younger brother, year and a half younger than myself, and that's it. The two Brainerd boys, Bob and Scott. And we don't have tension between us, but he lives in Florida. I live in Wisconsin, obviously. And we just, it's the distance thing that you mentioned, John. It's just, from time to time we text. When my mom passed away about 2.5 years ago, our bond became greater because we are it. We're the last of the Brainerds. And I was impressed that my brother stepped up to the plate and came to Wisconsin and helped with the arrangements and helped make, the transitioning, because that's a big deal when you're the last in line in your family. So while we don't talk a lot and we don't get together a whole lot, there's not tension there, so that when we do, it's like there is no time that is lost. That
You're close, even though you don't talk a lot.
Right. You become brothers again and you become close again, and then we go our separate ways. And so there's not animosity, which is good.
Let's take a phone call here. Let's work in Ryan. Ryan is with us from Eden. Ryan, good afternoon. You're on WTMJ.
Hey, John. How you doing?
I'm good, man.
Good. Hey, I want to give a shout-out to my brother, retired Sergeant Major Eric Jazak from the United States Marine Corps. You might remember him from the Honor Flight documentary.
Oh, yeah. I definitely know the name.
So, yeah.
Fantastic.
He's my hero. And we never got along like you guys didn't when we were young. But now we're tighter than ever. And unfortunately, I only get to talk to him every so often. He's still doing things for our country that I can't speak of, but he's definitely my hero. So,
man, Ryan, great phone call. Thank
Great
you so much
shout-out.
for taking some
Yeah.
time
Thanks, Ryan.
to share with us. We're getting some texts in, too, which are pretty cool. This one is from the 262. I'm a brother of 3 wonderful sisters. We've had our ups and downs, but they certainly have always been there for me. They are some of the most perfect people ever. I'm so glad to be their brother. I love you, Grace, Maddie, and Elise. From Sam, who's 14 years old.
Oh,
and just sent
Isn't
that
that
text.
a great text, yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
From 414, 7 siblings. We all give each other lots of grace. That's a big family.
This is from Al in Richfield. I'm an only child. I was pretty awesome at keeping myself company, though. He's probably got imaginary siblings.
Is there a shout out you want to give to your sibling on this National Siblings Day? Join us. 855-616-1620 is the talk and text line. 855-616-1620.
So when my twin girls were growing up and they would argue, I would say to them sometimes, knock it off. Someday you're going to be the only two that are left. Mom and I are not going to be here.
Right.
It's going to be you. You need to. And my one daughter especially would cringe. That would like traumatize her. Don't talk about that. What do you mean? Well, not tomorrow, but it's going to be you guys
my
against
reaction.
the world.
Yeah, that would have.
Yeah, she didn't like that either. At all.
When your twins argued, was it like an argument in stereo because their voices are similar?
Sometimes, and they would argue and finish each other's sentences while they were arguing.
That's awesome.
Which was really
That's awesome.
interesting.
But now you told me they're twins and they have the same shoe size.
Yeah.
I think they could have shared like sweaters and dresses. Like,
Exactly.
This is my fantasy. Like, I could have. This was a great
Double
thing
my
for me
wardrobe.
in college where I met
yeah.
girls on the floor who had the same size. I'm like, can I borrow that? Oh.
Yeah. It is 4:56 at WTMJ. Business headlines up next.
I guess one of the biggest sacrifices that I think we made starting Penny Mustard was personal time.
Ben and Arvid from Penny Mustard Furnishings.
Yeah, we just lived, ate, and breathed work all the time for years. Yep. And that's hard, especially when you're in your younger 20s. Yeah. That's when you're supposed to be partying. I do remember, I think I was 31 before I actually stayed out till midnight on New Year's Eve because I didn't have to be at a store the next day. I was 31 years old already. That was like a milestone in my life. That's impressive. Embarrassing. Well, probably.
PennyMustard.com.
Your first night camping alone. The new tent, fully set up. Your bug spray, barely keeping up. But you got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with free overdraft protection transfers. So when you bought all those supplies and lost track of your spending, we had you covered. You got this with free overdraft protection transfers from Associated Bank. See AssociatedBank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Business headlines. It's Sean Ryan at the Milwaukee Business Journal.
A manufacturing property between Wauwatosa's Village and the Regional Medical Center is the focus of a land use dispute after the city approved its future use as warehousing. A Milwaukee resident challenged that approval, saying it could be better redeveloped as housing. Milwaukee County plans to rehab 19 foreclosed suburban houses for new owners. $5 million in federal American Rescue Plan Act money will pay for the effort. Construction starts in the coming weeks on a 6-acre park and community space at Harley-Davidson's Milwaukee headquarters. Developed by the company's foundation, it will be complete in summer 2024. This is Sean Ryan with MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on News Radio WTMJ.
Business headlines sponsored by the Pfister Hotel. Make your reservations today. Visit thepfisterhotel.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
For 130 years, the Pfister Hotel in downtown Milwaukee has set the standard for excellence in hospitality. Its reputation for offering impeccable service and luxurious accommodations is simply unmatched. For your next getaway, pamper yourself with a stay at the Pfister Hotel. Enjoy an evening of fine dining at its classic restaurant, Mason Street Grill. Unwind with a skin, body, or hair treatment at the Pfister Well Spa and Salon. Take in live music with a view from the 23rd floor at Blue Cocktail Lounge. Make your reservations today. Visit thepfisterhotel.com.
Hi, this is Julie Coombs and Cindy Storm Fisher with Storm Fisher Investment Group. Are you a retiring professional? Worried about the direction of our economy? About making your money last? Come see what we can do for you. Let us show you how we take care of you to help you have a great retirement. We're at 262-796-8400 or stormfisher.com. See you soon.
Securities offered through Securities America Inc. member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through Arbor Point Advisors LLC. Storm Fisher, Arbor Point, and Securities America are separate entities.
Advent founder Dr. Madan Kandula on Advent's one-stop shop office-based procedures approach to solving breathing triangle problems.
A lot of folks are like, I don't want to go to surgery. You know, isn't there something else we can do? And at Advent, there is something else we can do. We have a whole host of office-based options where you don't have to go to surgery. We could do it under local anesthesia, get these things taken care of. How does that sound? And don't be surprised when you hear that a lot of people go for those options. When given the choice between surgery and office procedures, almost everybody that we talk to and give them the choice, they choose the office. That's not surprising. That's just understanding your patients and offering them the options that they would choose. So I think at Advent, when you put all that together, we are a one-stop shop for these issues.
Schedule your appointment at adventknows.com today because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventKnows.com.
What's better than the look and feel of real leather? The amazing prices at Steinhoffels.
Visit GetRoto.net for all your sewer and drain cleanup needs.
Oh, Roto-Rooter, that's the name, and away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
We're back in the desert, and this time it's the real deal.
Hit in the air to right indeed. Get up! Get up! Get out of here! Gone for Garrett Mitchell!
The Brewers take on the Diamondbacks for a 3-game series, starting tonight at 8:05 on News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
I'm John Mercure. Your top story. Barron County law enforcement officers come together after the deaths of 2 of their own.
I'm Sandy Max. Louisville leaders mourn.
And I'm Bob Raynard, in for Greg Matzik. The Brewers, 7-2, looking to make 8 great.
I'm Debbie Loziga. We do have some backups now southbound on 41 from Hampton all the way to Mayfair Road. That total is going to be from Highway Q to the Zoo, about a 17-minute ride. It's a 3-minute backup. Northbound side's a little bit tight from Blue Mound Road up past Swan Boulevard. Eastbound on 94, riding the brakes, basically from 84th Street through the stadium. The westbound side slowing down from 25th Street through the stadium as well. And a couple of heavy pockets of traffic on southbound 43, one past Silver Spring, another one through Capitol, and then one more right in the Marquette heading over the high-rise bridge. I'm Debbie Loziga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time-saver traffic.
Tonight, clear skies, a low of 51. Tomorrow, sunny, breezy, a high of 77. It is currently 71 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, Barron County officials giving an update on the 2 officers killed during a traffic stop over the weekend. Chetek Police Chief Ron Ambrositis says they're grateful for all the support from the community.
The amount of support has been very overwhelming. Thank you.
I also want to ask the public to give my department time to grieve and to have time with their families. Chetek Department will be back, and we will pull through this, and we will be Emily Strong.
The officers have been identified as 32-year-old Chetek police officer Emily Breidenbach and 23-year-old Cameron police officer Hunter Scheel.
Donna Bukowski works for the city of Chetek. She tells WTMJ's Steve Scafidi and Carol Kane she was one of the last to see the Chetek officer hours before she was killed.
We stood there and talked, and she talked about what a beautiful day it was, and it was way too nice to be indoors writing reports as she's literally waving to people as they drive down the street. They'd honk at her. I never in a million years thought a couple hours later I would never see or talk to her again.
Bukowski says officers from across the region have come to Barron County to assist the Chetek Department at this time.
The city of Louisville is in shock and mourning after a mass shooting at a bank there downtown. 4 victims were killed, 9 injured, including a police officer who's in critical condition following brain surgery. Louisville's Mayor Craig Greenberg took the news particularly hard after learning one of the people killed was a friend. Greenberg was emotional during Monday's press briefing as he recalled an attempt made on his life at his office last year.
I'm a survivor of a workplace shooting. To the people who survived, whether you were physically hurt or not, I know that you're hurting too.
The suspect was killed by officers. Authorities say he was live streaming the violence as it unfolded.
The Bucks out west. Bob Brainerd in for Greg Matzik with sports next.
But first, a WTMJ tax tip sponsored by the Neal Group.
Before you spend that refund, I'm Daria Albinger with today's tax tip. So you've completed your return and you're getting a nice refund. Before you plan that trip, even just to the mall, heed this advice from ABC News business correspondent Alexis Christoforous.
I know it's very tempting to want to take that tax refund and go and splurge on a new TV or a vacation, but at least take part of that refund and start to pay down debt, especially in an environment where we're having rising interest rates. Credit card debt is so high right now. If you can take all or part of that refund and pay down that debt, you're paying yourself off in the end.
Even if you don't have debt, she says it's still a good idea to put away at least part of that refund.
Beef up your emergency savings. With a possible recession looming, it's more important than ever to have a few months of income set aside. So use that refund to do things like that.
We won't tell if you treat yourself to just a little something, though. With today's tax tip, I'm Daria Albinger, ABC News.
Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 5:05.
Tax tips brought to you by the Neal Group. For less stress with the IRS, visit nealgroup.net. That's NEAL Group.net for a free consultation. Traffic on Wisconsin's Afternoon News is sponsored by Roto-Rooter, the sewer and drain experts you've trusted for over 85 years.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA and founder of the Neal Group, with over 40 years of experience saving businesses money. Another year has come and gone. How did yours go? Do you have more money in the bank than last January? Do you just have a job, or do you run a business? 85% of business owners just have a job. Our years of experience and proven strategies help you run your business profitably and get it ready to sell when you are ready. That's the end game, right? We help you look at the numbers and understand what they mean. Just ask Jason, Michelle, or Peter, who sold their businesses this year for a nice price. Do you want to get a decent salary, pay what you owe, and make a profit too? Let us help you improve your business so you can work less and make more. Sounds pretty good, right? To get started on the road to making more money and having less stress, book a call or meeting at nealgroup.net right now. That's NEAL Group.net. The first meeting is free to see if we can help. Again, nealgroup.net.
This report sponsored by Pella of Wisconsin. Discover Pella now, pay later at PellaWI.com.
Hello, baseball fans. Jeff Levering here, calling the action with the amazing team at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. And what a roster we have. Up to bat is Pella's award-winning Easy Slide innovation. Wow, what a smooth glide. Pella's sliding windows are incredibly easy to maneuver, wider than they are tall. They glide horizontally, letting in lots of natural light and unobstructed views. And that roll, it's a double play. Pella's premium roll screens operate like magic. Close the window and the screen rolls away completely out of sight. Now that is slick. On deck is Pella's Reserve Series patio door. Just look at that slide. It's a perfect fit. Pella Reserve patio doors offer virtually unlimited sizes and custom colors, and they're backed up with the best lifetime warranty in the industry. Pella sure is one heck of a 5-tool player, and you can bring any number of their all-star innovations home for 0% for 48 months when you order by April 30th. Visit PellaWI.com for this amazing deal.
Certain restrictions apply.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Here's Bob Brainerd.
Good work done right at home by the Brewers. Now they take their talents on the road for 10 games with stops in Arizona, San Diego, and Seattle. Wade Miley takes the hill against Zach Gallen tonight against the Diamondbacks. You can hear the action from Phoenix right here in 620 WTMJ, beginning with pregame coverage at 8 p.m. The NBA play-in games begin tomorrow night with the Bucks idling all week long until they know their opponent for the first round of the postseason. Whomever emerges will be in Milwaukee for Game 1 next Sunday at Fiserv Forum. And Minnesota's Rudy Gobert won't play in the T-Wolves play-in game against the Lakers tomorrow. The team suspended Gobert after punching Kyle Anderson, his own teammate, in the team huddle yesterday during Minnesota's win over New Orleans.
It's time for Extra Points, a sports commentary on Wisconsin's afternoon news. Here's Bob Brainerd.
The Bucks stop here? Well, let's hope not. When Milwaukee learns who they will play in the first round of the NBA playoffs, it'll be the beginning or the end. Face it, in some ways, this Bucks team has been constructed to win another NBA title, and the current roster might be better equipped than the one we got done in 2021. Best record in the NBA taken care of. That means there can be no excuses to advance in 4 potential series to bring home the hardware. The Bucks need to take care of business at home, at the minimum, to get through the Eastern Conference gauntlet and then knock off the best in the West. The roster is the oldest in the NBA. All that experience, partnered with the best player on the planet, are aligned to put their veteran savvy up against any and all comers. Fall short, and who knows if this championship window ever opens again while Giannis is in a Bucks uniform. For the Greek Freak's sake, get it done, Bucks.
Extra Points is sponsored by All Right Home and Remodeling. When you want it done right, call All Right.
Did you know that the Inflation Reduction Act can save you thousands on energy-efficient updates like new insulation, siding, windows, and more? And these dollars are in addition to Focus on Energy rebates. I'm Randy Miller, owner of All Right Home and Remodeling and S&E Insulation. As Department of Energy Century Club Award winners, my team has the proven skills and experience to help you take advantage of these unprecedented incentives. Get started at ALLRITE-remodeling.com.
St. Vincent de Paul Milwaukee seeks a hands-on facility manager to maintain our thrift store and meal program buildings, grounds, and equipment. In this full-time position with benefits, you'll oversee all facility contracted services and perform light maintenance and repairs to buildings and equipment. Technical training in basic electricity, plumbing, carpentry, and/or mechanical is required, and a degree is a plus. Go to svdpmilw.org to learn more and apply. Good luck.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Got chronic joint pain but want to avoid steroids and surgery? Take some advice from pro football legend Emmitt Smith. Call QC Kinetics.
Let QC Kinetics help you improve your quality of life with biologic therapies that get your body to repair and restore damaged tissue.
These exciting new regenerative treatments from local medical professionals can help your body heal itself with lasting pain relief.
Trust me, you want to avoid surgery if you can. Check out these biologic treatments to see what your options are.
QC Kinetics, restorative, regenerative solutions with no downtime, no surgery, no drugs.
I'm talking about joint pain we all can relate to in your knees, your shoulders, your hips, and your lower back. They'll get you feeling good again.
Get relief now.
What are you waiting on? Make the call to QC Kinetics. Tell them Emmitt Smith sent you.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
If you're looking for the finest of furniture finishing and heirloom restoration, by golly, it's Mullally. Mullally Furniture Finishing and Repair. Serving everywhere. Quality counts. MULLALY finishing.com.
Grandview Homes will buy your home as is today. It doesn't matter what condition it's in. We'll give you a fair cash offer in 48 hours, and you have nothing to lose to try us out. With Grandview, you don't need to fix your home to sell it. Call or visit grandviewhomes.com.
You love her twice as much today as the day you married her, right?
Welcome to Kessler's.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here's John Mercure.
All right, Sandy Max is here. So is Bob Brainerd in for Greg Matzik. Debbie Lozic is here, and Adam Roberts, TGGKB, is doing the show this afternoon. TGGKB.
Little help there. What?
Well, we really can't get into that on the radio, Bob.
Okay.
We will share that with you later. All right, here. There is news in Wisconsin about phone numbers. The Public Service Commission has announced that one additional area code will be coming to the 920 area code. So the 920 is basically Green Bay, it's down through the Fox Valley, and then it goes to Beaver Dam, through Oshkosh, and over to Sheboygan, Sturgeon Bay, and Watertown.
Mm-hmm.
And there are so many people with so many telephones up there that they are adding a new phone number. It's going to be 274. 274.
Okay.
Remember when they added 920? That wasn't always a thing. And there was people said that was because for Reggie White. Remember that?
No, really?
It wasn't, but people were trying to look for a connection. So
Okay,
like
sure.
920.
Whatever helps you dial, sure.
So couldn't we do 120 for Aaron Rodgers?
Well, it's funny that you say it because I was
120?
immediately going to ask Bob, who's the best Packer 27? Because you could say something Favre, 274. 274. That my mind immediately
Who and
went
Favre,
to.
yeah. Who and Favre.
Yeah.
Who's 27?
There's not many 27s in
the
sports.
NFL. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure someone on the talk and text line will be.
man.
Sure, someone's shouting at their radio right
Yeah.
now. How do you
You
not remember
idiots.
this player?
Yeah.
So by this time next year, they're going to run out of new numbers in that 920 area code. So they're starting to hand out new ones now, and it will be an overlay, which means they'll still have the 920. They're not going to divide it up like if you live in 274, you're Appleton. It's just going to be when they run out of numbers in that geographic area, they start assigning 274.
Okay.
So there will always be 920. They'll add 274 as they run out of the 920 phone numbers.
Is there anything uncool about that? Is there somebody who doesn't want a 274 number?
Because they want to have 920 because they want to be associated with the cool city like Green Bay.
Sure.
Ooh. I want
The Fox Valley, baby.
Like Chicago when they split off the 312.
That was a
And it
really
was a
big
deal that if you had 312, you were in the city proper or had your phone a long time. That was a big deal.
And or were a suburbanite or a city person, and in New York, there was a real stigma when 917 started
Yep.
because you wanted 212. If you're gonna spend the money to live in Manhattan, baby.
So in Chicago, they did it different, I think. I think in Chicago, they didn't overlay like we're doing here. They decided 312 is going to be Chicago
Mhm.
and a little bit of Cook County. So if you lived in Lake County or Kane County, they stripped away your 312,
Mhm.
and you got the new prefix,
You
which
got
was
847
847.
or 708.
Yeah, you didn't get to keep 312. At least we're letting you folks up in Green Bay keep 920.
I'm
if you
kind of
already have it.
surprised that when you think about Chicago and the size, that there isn't already another 3-digit
Yeah.
area code.
Rudy Gobert wears 27.
Oh,
if you want
gosh.
to bring it up to today's
Rudy
sports
Gobert.
news, he's 27. but I mean, guys, I got nothing locally. Jose Altuve, Carlton Fisk, Catfish Hunter.
Nothing here though, huh?
Nothing locally of
Interesting.
famous 27. So
Yeah.
you're on your own, folks.
Okay.
To remember 274. We tried.
Yeah, we did.
We tried to give you some Packers connectives there.
Good luck, everybody. Up next, we're going to give you some depth on that shooting of the police officers in northwest Wisconsin. Steve Peterson, detective, SWAT member, with us on what it's like to execute these traffic stops in today's world. Peterson with us after Debbie helps get you home.
Hey, I'm John Mercure.
And I'm Sandy Max.
Great news for fans of Wisconsin's afternoon news.
You can now hear every episode of the show across the podcast universe.
That's right. You'll never have to miss a single interview, story, or fun conversation.
You're not giving in to the process.
Yeah, you're done? You're done.
Well, I was hoping somebody would try and slide a little food. There's a little slot here underneath the door, some cold cuts, pretty thin.
Find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, parents. Hey, grandparents. I've got a great idea, a great way you can score some points with those little ones in your house. How about treating your kids to a super safe and affordable evening at the amazing Mine Shaft Restaurant and Entertainment Center right in downtown Hartford? The Mine Shaft is the coolest, most family-friendly restaurant with a $2 million game room. Over 40, check that, Over 140 interactive games, including the most popular, like Typhoon, Avengers, ticket ring games, and the easiest games for your little ones as well. Your kids will love the Mine Shaft, especially your teenagers. Your wallet's going to love it, too. Get a huge 18-inch pizza for just $14.99 today. Easily feeds a family of 4. So take your grandkids to the Mine Shaft. They're going to love you big time. If your kids are out of school coming up one of these days here, which happens in the spring, make an afternoon of it. It's a ton of fun. The Mine Shaft on Main Street in beautiful downtown Hartford. Kids menu starts at just $3.99. No reservations needed. Just walk in. MineShaftRestaurant.com.
Wealth-changing question. Has your advisor created a portfolio based only on your age and risk tolerance? That's simply not good enough. Your money deserves better, and so do you. At Creative Planning, our private wealth managers learn about you first, and then they create a customized plan and portfolio by partnering with our in-house money managers, accountants, and attorneys. Don't settle for a standard portfolio. Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
Lane's Farm and Fleet is your one-stop shop for supplies at prices that help your hard-earned dollars go further, like 5-gallon pails of Farm and Fleet premium tractor fluid or 15W40 diesel oil. Your choice, $59.99. Save on 2.5 gallons of Clean Def diesel exhaust fluid. On sale, $12.49. 55 gallons also on sale, $249.99. All Apache sprayer hoses now 15% off. And visit us at the Midwest Horse Fair in Madison, Wisconsin, April 14th through the 16th.
Grilling season has arrived at Sendix. This week, find natural pork baby back ribs, fresh and never frozen, for just $3.99 per pound. Sendix, your trusted local grocer.
Traffic is sponsored by Sendix Food Market, your trusted local grocer since 1926. Good afternoon, Debbie.
Good afternoon, John. We do still have those delays along 41 southbound from just north of Capitol Drive all the way to Mayfair Road. The northbound side's backing up a bit from about Blue Mound Road up past Swan Boulevard. So those areas you'll see about an extra 3 to 4 minutes onto your ride. Eastbound 94, riding the brakes from 84th Street through the stadium. The westbound side 27th through the stadium interchange. Southbound 43 has eased up nicely, so we're back to normal there. Still a little bit tight from the Hale interchange to Forest Home on 894 eastbound. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, mostly clear skies, a low of 48. Tomorrow, sunny and breezy, a high of 75. On Wednesday, sunny and windy, a high of 77. On Thursday, sunny, breezy, 76. On Friday, partly cloudy, a high of 70 degrees. In Milwaukee right now, it is 71 degrees. A couple of small communities in northwest Wisconsin are mourning the loss of police officers who were killed in the line of duty over the weekend. Emily Breitenbach of Chetek and Hunter Scheel of Cameron died during a traffic stop. They got out, and sources tell me they were ambushed and shot in the face with a rifle, and they died. They've been escorted to the medical examiner's office in Minnesota, just over the border. They will be escorted back, and a funeral with all the rites will take place. My friend Steve Peterson is a former Waukesha County detective, Waukesha County SWAT member, and currently a law enforcement consultant, and one of the brightest guys I know, and he is with us. Hey, Steve, thank you so much for making some time for us.
You bet, John. Good afternoon.
I want to vent for a second and get your take on this, because one of the newspaper articles I read said, during a routine traffic stop, blah, blah, blah. Haven't we learned by now there's no such thing as a routine traffic stop? I mean, that's the danger with all of these law enforcement interactions, isn't it?
It certainly is. And I think people kind of lose the focus that a traffic stop may be routine in the officer's daily duties, but there's certainly nothing routine about the interaction and the potential for danger, as we just saw.
So, Steve, you consult with local departments, and there's no doubt that the world has changed. It's always been a very dangerous place if you're in law enforcement. But are departments training different, or are they thinking differently as officers approach cars, whether it be a rural or urban area, because of the world that we live in now?
Well, pretty much. I mean, certainly the concept of the training is always evolving, and we always learn from lessons learned and best practices. as to the best way to effect a traffic stop. But inherently, making contact with a vehicle always has the potential for danger, and it's just something that is always being evaluated and looked at from a law enforcement standpoint of, is there something we can do differently to make these vehicle contacts?
And now, what are the next steps to support the families of these two officers? Because I know you've been really involved in the community to support families who go through this.
Boy, I tell you, Sandy, this is, whenever this happens, this is a tough day. And sometimes I think that, the general public associates officers being killed in line of duty happening in a big city or a metro area. I mean, this is small town USA, departments with less than, 10 officers. And I think one department had less than 5 officers. You take that where they know everybody in the communities they serve, and now you have the fire rescue side of the house that more than likely these are all volunteer firefighters coming to this scene where these are officers that they know, and they probably know not only from the community, from church, from school, from the grocery store. So this is just really devastating, not only from the law enforcement side of the house, but the community. And I don't know, almost beyond explanation, I don't know how some of these smaller departments recover, but they certainly are going to need the support of the community and the outlying area of the community, the state of Wisconsin especially. So I was glad to see that I think one of the local banks has already stepped up some fundraising efforts because this is going to be a tough road for them for sure.
Former Detective Steve Peterson is with us. To your point, Steve, in the town of Cameron, they have 3 full-time officers. In Chautauqua, they have 5. I mean, these are very, very small departments, and if you take an officer out of that mix because they've been killed or injured, and now you have others that are trying to recover because their best friend has been killed or injured, do other departments historically step in? Will they help the work get done because the work won't stop?
Yeah, absolutely. They will, in fact, do that. The Sheriff's Department will step up and cover calls for service in the community, as I'm certain maybe some of the outlying communities as well as the State Patrol. So the needs of the community from a law enforcement safety standpoint is going to be met. It's just going to be met in the interim by surrounding jurisdictions.
Steve, I hesitate to even say this because it hurts my heart, but if one of my 2 girls told me they wanted to go in law enforcement, I would be worried and upset, and I wouldn't want them to do that. And if their heart was set on it, I would say, then you will do it and we will support you. But I hate even having the thought that this is such a dangerous profession now, despite how important it is, that I would be reluctant to want them to do that. Are we seeing less people want to go into law enforcement?
I haven't looked at numbers recently, but statistically over the past couple years, those numbers have been down for a variety of reasons. But it's certainly it's a noble profession.
Yep.
You're serving the community, but it is dangerous, and that's tough for a lot of people, and it's got to be nerve-wracking for parents. I get it. I get it, but there is honor in serving your community, just as honor in serving your country in the armed forces.
There's no doubt about that. I want to thank you for your service. You put yourself in the line of fire and danger for many, many years, Steve. Thank you for always giving us some perspective.
You betcha, John.
Steve Peterson, former detective in the Waukesha Sheriff's Office. It is 5:26 at WTMJ. Time for the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Stocks had mostly higher to start the week after reversing earlier losses in the day. This all comes after Friday's jobs report showed continued strength in the labor market. So the S&P 500 was up 4 points to close at 4109. The Dow with a nice little jump. They're up 101 points to close at 33,586. The NASDAQ just down a tiny bit, down 3 points to close off at 12,084. The Russell 2000 was up, and the commodity market showed that crude oil was down a little bit, gold down a little bit, silver down a little bit, and the 10-year Treasury bond was up a little bit on the day. It's time to calibrate your plan. Get on track with investment and retirement planning. Visit AnnexWealth.com. Click the Get Started button today. That's Annex Wealth Management. News is sponsored by Holiday Automotive at Highway 23 in Fond du Lac. Holiday Automotive, it is worth the trip.
Hey, it's WTMJ Sandy Max here. Join us October 12th as we embark on a magical memory-making tour through England with Journeys Connect. This 10-day vacation is called The Beatles and More, an England adventure, and takes us through London and Liverpool, and we'll also explore Windsor, Oxford, Stratford-upon-Avon, Stonehenge, and Bath. England is my happy place. I am excited to show you some of my favorite parts of London before we have an immersive experience in the Fab Four's hometown of Liverpool, including private after-hours access at the Beatles Story Museum. We'll also see England's royal life with a Windsor Castle tour, stroll Oxford University's historic campus and Shakespeare's birthplace, Stratford-upon-Avon. We'll get mystical and mythical at Stonehenge and see ancient architecture in the town of Bath. There's much more to tell you about this beautifully British experience put together by Journeys Connect. Our travel expert, Steve Bertrand, he ensures all the details are taken care of so we can relax and enjoy the trip of a lifetime together. Let me send you the colorful brochure and full itinerary. Email me, sandy@wtmj.com. That's SANDY@wtmj.com. sandy@wtmj.com.
It's here on consignment from over 10,000 nationwide partners. From very high-end, distinctive furniture, unique antiques and original art, to tasteful home decor that can fit almost any budget. Premium home decor priced right at 25 to 40% off retail prices. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Smart interior designers know that what they'll see here is going to be almost impossible to find anywhere else, especially at our consignment prices. Premium home decor that's gently loved and close to new. And what we carry can raise the wow factor of anyone's home decor. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange. Don't think twice. Call Geis. Garage door broke. Do it right. Don't think twice. Call Geis. Need a new garage door. Do it right. Don't think twice. Call Geis.
A great way to add value and curb appeal to your home is with a new CHI maintenance-free garage door. In fact, a recent study by Remodelers Magazine reports that the average return on investment is an amazing 82%, ranking #1 among all home improvement projects. To see our huge selection of doors, come visit us at our Brookfield location or view our online showroom at geistdoors.com. We have everything from alley doors to custom wood designer doors and everything in between. Remember, for all your garage door needs, call Geis at 262-784-4250 or visit us online at geistdoors.com.
Don't think twice. Call Geis. Don't think twice. Call Geis.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 5:30. I'm John Mercure. Barron County law enforcement officers pulled together.
I'm Sandy Max. A big change for one of the Tennessee Three.
And I'm Bob Brainerd in for Greg Matzik. The Brewers begin a 10-game road trip out west.
I'm Debbie Laziga. Still going to be slowing down on 41 southbound from Capitol Drive all the way to Mayfair Road. Northbound side slow from basically Wisconsin Avenue up past Watertown Plank. Eastbound 94, we got a little bit of a heavy ride coming out of the Gerke's Corners area to about Calhoun, and then back on the brakes between the zoo and the stadium interchange. And then on southbound 43, looks actually pretty good, pretty quiet all the way down into the Marquette. Be our eyes on the roads. Report accidents, slowdowns, and road conditions at the WTMJ Hall Mazda traffic tip line at 414-238-9329. I'm Debbie Laziga, with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight, clear skies, a low of 51. Tomorrow, sunny, breezy, a high of 77. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, Barron County officials giving an update on the 2 officers killed during a traffic stop over the weekend. 32-year-old Chetek police officer Emily Breidenbach and 23-year-old Cameron police officer Hunter Scheel. Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald says he wants officers Breitenbach and Shield to be remembered for what they gave to their communities.
From Emily dancing in the football stands to Hunter at National Night Out with kids playing in the squad, this is why we do what we do here in Barron County.
A community vigil will be held at 7:30 on Wednesday night. Tonight's procession from the Midwest Medical Examiner's office in Minnesota to the funeral home in Barron County will get underway a couple of hours from now.
I'm Eric Bilstead.
Very tragic time for us.
Donna Bukowski works for the city of Chautauqua, and she even spoke with one of the officers involved hours before the shooting.
She talked about what a beautiful day it was. I never in a million years thought a couple hours later I would never see or talk to her again.
Bukowski tells WTMJ Steve Scafidi and Carol Kane that officers from all over the area have already come to help the city cope with the loss. And as for her friend,
she loved her town. She absolutely loved her job.
Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
Justin Jones is getting his seat back at the Tennessee House. CBS News correspondent Matt Piper reports.
Nashville's Metro Council is returning Justin Jones to the legislature immediately in a vote to fill the vacant position on an interim basis.
Ayes 36.
All the votes were yeses.
Justin Jones has been elected as the interim successor for the vacant seat of Tennessee House District 52.
Jones and another black lawmaker were expelled by the Republican supermajority for their role in a gun control protest on the House floor in the aftermath of a deadly school shooting in Nashville. The other rep could be reappointed Wednesday when a commission in his district holds a vote. Matt Piper, CBS News.
Newly elected Supreme Court Justice Janet Protasevich won a convincing race against challenger Dan Kelly. Marquette Law School poll director Charles Franklin says recent Supreme Court races have seen similar results.
3 of the last 4 Supreme Court races have been won by the liberal candidate by either 10 or 11 points. So in that sense, we shouldn't have been surprised.
Protasevich won the contest by just over 10 points.
From one retractable roof to another for the Brewers, Bob Brainerd has more up next in sports.
Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 5:34.
Hey, Wisconsin, Greg Matzik here for Holiday Automotive in Fond du Lac, where the Spring Forward Sales event is on. Great timing to gear up for driving season. Get more for your trade and score enticing offers on the new Chevrolet, Buick, or GMC that's right for you. Or how about checking out the incredible value of a GM certified pre-owned model? With selection expanding and new models arriving daily, you can choose one that's in stock today or reserve one on the way, all while enjoying holidays' warm, genuine guest care. It's the stuff that delights and makes fans of drivers from all over the Badger State. And I'm one of them. I know from my personal experience, you'll be in excellent hands with Team Holiday on your side. They are proud and grateful to be Wisconsin's #1 Buick and GMC dealer based on combined total sales per 2022 Buick and GMC zone sales records. So find yours and discover the difference at Holiday Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC, Highway 41 and 23 in Fond du Lac, and online at holidaygm.com. It's worth the trip.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert back to report even more home buyers paid over the asking price last month, rising to 50% in the 5-county metro area. 3 out of 10 paid $10,000 or more above that list price. The good news is appraised values are generally keeping up with the over-asking offers. Still, the most powerful thing a buyer can do to make their offer the most attractive in a multiple offer situation is to give the seller some appraisal wiggle room. Telling the seller you're willing to pay over the asking price, even if the house appraises lower, sounds scary because most buyers think they have to fill that potential gap with more down payment. But in the vast majority of cases, AccuNet is showing home buyers how they can offer appraisal wiggle room without bringing a nickel more to closing. Appraisal wiggle room is like a good card trick. You need to see it to believe it. So if you're home shopping with a flimsy, unimaginative bank pre-approval, upgrade today to an AccuNet rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval by clicking on the blue button at AccuNet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Here's Bob Brainerd.
The Brewers dropped opening day at Wrigley Field, then just one game in 6 at home. Milwaukee now hits the road for a 10-gamer out west, beginning with Arizona tonight. More from the skipper, Craig Counsell.
Yeah, obviously a difficult road trip. It's a difficult schedule to start the season for us, so this will be a challenge. We're going to play 3 very good baseball teams, playing good baseball, and we've played good baseball and got some guys off to a good start. We got, the start today by Freddie, I think puts the bullpen back in order. So we're in good shape going into a new series.
Catch Game 1 against the Diamondbacks right here on 620 WTMJ with the pregame coverage kicking off at 8 p.m. Wade Miley against Zach Gallen in the opener in Phoenix. The Bucks get a full week of R&R as they await the NBA play-in action. Best record in the NBA, home court advantage throughout the postseason, check and check.
Credit to the players to finish the season the way they did, to have I think us improve in a lot of areas. Our defense is something that we hang our hat on, and individually, a lot of guys, played well, collectively played well, and now it's, time to get ready for the postseason.
That's Coach Bud. The Bucks will host opponent TBA at Fiserv Forum next Sunday in Game 1 of the series. And they're still jonesing in the Big Apple to get this Aaron Rodgers deal done, but they're also growing a little impatient. Here is WFAN's Craig Carton's take and his frustration with the Jets promising to deliver the goods.
You can't dance this dance and now not deliver the franchise, even if it's for 1 year, on Aaron Rodgers. And I know for a fact, if this does not get done prior to the draft, Aaron Rodgers will not be a New York Jet. He won't be.
I keep hearing the 49ers are lurking in the background, and they could swoop in.
But he said this is a fact. It's not a fact.
Well,
somebody get this guy a dictionary.
Okay, but at the same time, here we are, and it's April, and we're like 2.5 weeks away from the draft. And if the Packers are going to deal this quarterback to the Jets, there are going to be draft picks involved. And you would like to think there would be 2023 draft picks.
Yeah, but I think they're okay if it's not. I think if there are draft picks involved and their leverage gives them a higher pick in 23 than they would in 24 than they would get in 23, I don't really care. As long as it gets done, I personally don't feel a sense of urgency that we need the picks this year.
You think that. It's not fact. You think that.
Well, it's fact.
John has spoken, ladies and gentlemen.
That guy's a big clown, too, by the way. Who is that guy? What was his name?
Craig Carton.
Okay, Craig Carton. I like how you said that.
He's a New York guy.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
It's 5:39 at WTMJ. Hey, what a week we've got weather-wise. Let's celebrate Brian Niznansky a little bit. He'll be with us up next on WTMJ.
The World Eating Championship Burrito has arrived at Qdoba, featuring freshly grilled chicken, Qdoba's custom 3-cheese queso, hand-smashed guacamole, roasted tomato salsa, cilantro lime rice, and black beans. Packed with flavor and featured in the first ever World Burrito Eating Championship. It's available for a limited time only, exclusively online at Qdoba.com or on the Qdoba app. It's the World Eating Championship Burrito. Available now at Qdoba.com and the Qdoba app until April 21st.
All Brewers games are on sale now, including a marquee weekend matchup versus the Red Sox April 21st through the 23rd. Get the one-of-a-kind Yelly Tumbler Gate giveaway on Saturday, presented by American Family Insurance, and treat your crew to Brewers family fun on Sunday with special activities for kids, including Brewers player autographs and a chance to run the bases. Get your seats now at Brewers.com.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
Meteorologist Brian Niznansky is with us. Hello, Niz. How was Easter?
Easter was great. Today was great.
Yeah.
I'm feeling good. Spring has sprung, guys.
It has. I saw a tweet from you this afternoon where you said, I'm doing it. I'm putting 80s in the forecast. An 80.
Got to. Yep, I got to. Wow. I know it sounds crazy, but today we got up to 72 so far, and I would say that our southwest wind is even stronger by Wednesday, and there'll be no chance of any sort of lake breeze or factor, and what we call 850 temperatures. So you get 850 millibars up in the sky, a little bit higher up above the surface. That's a good area that we look for where we'll see basically where you get your steering influence of the type of temperatures that we're going to see. Those are significantly higher by Wednesday, so I do think we're going to make a good run at 80 degrees.
Because Niz, Bob Brainerd opened every single window in his house yesterday,
yep.
and they're still open.
I did it, Niz. I didn't do it yesterday, but I did it this morning. I got the windows open. It's awesome. That breeze in the air in the house, it's freshening things up. It's perfect. I can't wait to keep the windows open tonight, too. I don't care what the missus says. They're staying open.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Be diligent.
And there's no humidity yet. I slept with them open last night. It was fantastic.
This means a lot of things are going to be blooming, and we look to you, Brian, also for updates on what we don't like to talk about, but Allergies?
Allergies, yes. Here's the bad with the warmth. The bad will be allergy season is here. But I must say, most of the pollens that are being registered right now in southeastern Wisconsin, which is high, by the way, most of the pollens are actually transplants from somewhere else. The pollen from, like, say, Illinois, portions of Missouri. That strong southwest wind is bringing all that pollen from the trees that are a little bit farther along to the southwest of us. So we're just getting going with the pollen. One other bad thing with the warmth, we still have a lot of winter dead vegetation on the ground. So as we warm up, we have low humidity and we have strong southwest winds. There is some fire danger. In fact, Smokey the Bear, the sign would say very high with the fire danger for today through the DNR. So just check with your municipality if you plan on doing some burning. I know a lot of people out in the sticks like to burn up their brush out in the field. So just be careful.
That surprises me because it's such a soggy pile of yuck in my yard that it doesn't seem dry enough to burn.
It's a very good point. And I do think in many cases that will suppress like major fire risk here. But you can't ignore a lot of the top layer brush that's brown out there that's dead. That has a little ways to go before we start to really truly green up.
Niz,
So
you know who else is coming this week, Niz?
Who's coming?
The Orioles. And
Yes.
the hummingbirds.
I love the Orioles.
So
So
if you got your feeders, they like grape jelly or grape jam. The Orioles eat those, and then of course the hummingbirds
And oranges. The Orioles love the oranges.
and the oranges, right.
and grape jelly.
Yes,
Will they scare away the robins? Because I got a robin problem.
No, nothing scares a robin away,
Except that white fox you got.
Which actually, honestly, it's done really well. We're in really good shape with that. However, I got more of a varmint problem. I took the patio cushions out of their little storage box for the first time this morning, and about half of them are ruined because there was a mouse that was in there. He chewed through about half of them. Yeah, so that was very nice.
Not good.
He
very,
wasn't
very
still
nice.
in there, though.
Yes, he was. It was a fun game with the kids as far as open up, grab this one, there he goes, grab this one, there he goes, until he latches onto one of them, and next thing you know, we all scatter.
Oh, that's hilarious.
He jumped out. It was good stuff. The
Springtime
good stuff
is
that we
fun
get.
at the Niznansky household, let me tell you.
It is. The kids were off today, too, so I'm glad they're around for that excitement.
Yeah. Hey, lead us through the next 5 days, Niz.
Looks awesome, guys. Mainly clear tonight, 51 degrees. For tomorrow, 77, mostly sunny. For Wednesday, sunny and windy, a high of 81 degrees. The record, by the way, Wednesday is 82, so we're going to be close. Thursday, sunny, windy, and warm, a high of 80. The record on Thursday is 79. And then Friday, mostly sunny, windy, still warm, a high of 76 degrees. We darn jumped to summer, guys.
All right. Brian Niznansky, good stuff. Talk to you tomorrow, bud.
Yep, see you, man.
5:45 at WTMJ. The Brewers starting off awfully hot. Broadcaster Lane Grindle is with us live. Up next.
Hi, it's Brian Noonan from WTMJ Nights. I've got some big news. Starting now, you can download WTMJ Nights wherever you get your podcasts. That's right, you can enjoy our nighttime fun anytime you want. Find WTMJ Nights on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Local news, national stories, random silliness. You'll get a bit of everything on WTMJ Nights. So join me, Brian Noonan, weeknights from 6 to 9 here on WTMJ, the WTMJ mobile app, or wherever you get your podcasts. WTMJ Nights. Listen whenever and wherever you want.
John Mercure here for Town Bank. Last year, if it taught us anything, it's that owning a business means being resourceful, and that includes choosing partners you can trust. At Town Bank, they were there for 12,000 local businesses when they needed a Paycheck Protection Program loan. They're good business partners at Town Bank. They also know that when you're working toward a financial goal, every little bit counts. When you open a Total Access checking account, you get free ATMs nationwide and a $300 bonus. This is the checking I have, and with daughters in New York and Texas, I love those free ATMs nationwide. No matter what goals you've set, Town Bank can help you achieve them with banking solutions like entrepreneur checking, small business loans, and more. And parents, you know it's never too early to start teaching your kids about money. This year, help them take the first step toward a healthy financial future with a Junior Savers Club account. With a Junior Savers account, children earn interest on every dollar they deposit, plus they'll have access to activities and giveaways throughout the year. To learn more, visit my bank, Town Bank, at townbank.us. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Welcome back to Ask Hassellus. I'm Weston. What's your question?
What keeps you up at night?
My box spring. It supports my mattress, prevents sagging, and gives my bed a little elevation.
You're a literal guy, aren't you?
Well, through Monday at Hassellus Mattress, you can literally get a free box spring with the purchase of a new Sealy Posturepedic or Beautyrest mattress, or take an equal amount off a new adjustable base.
Great. That's going to keep me up at night.
Open 9 to 9. Find a showroom near you or shop online at hassellus.com.
Grandview buys homes, and if you have a loved one's home that you need to sell, Grandview will make that process simple, fast, and stress-free. Grandview Homes will give you a no-obligation fair cash offer in as little as 24 hours. Whether it's your home, a loved one's home, a rental, a vacant, or a second home, we buy all homes completely as is. No repairs whatsoever. Take just the belongings you wish to keep and leave the stress and the mess to us. Sell your home as is today. GrandviewHomes.com.
Traffic is sponsored by TaybackAttorneys.com. Social Security benefits denied? Call Tayback for the payback. Unable to work due to health problems? Let Tayback help you get approved for the Social Security benefits you're entitled to. Call Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com.
Traffic and weather begins with Debbie Lazaga. Hey there, Deb.
Hey there, John. Well, southbound 41 still a little bit tight right around that North Avenue curve, but not too horribly bad. Eastbound 94 is where we're seeing some more delays around 84th Street through the stadium. It's about 10 minutes to get from the zoo into downtown. Southbound 43 is still looking really good. We've also got 894 eastbound just a little bit heavy between the Hale interchange and the Mitchell. You're looking at about an 8-minute ride, so a couple of extra minutes. Most of that happening between the Hale and Forest Home. And I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. For tonight, mostly clear, low of 48. Tomorrow, sunny and breezy, a high of 75. On Wednesday, sunny and windy, a high of 77. On Thursday, sunny and breezy, a high of 76. Friday, partly cloudy, a high of 70 degrees. Right now in Milwaukee, it is 71. All right, let's talk some baseball with Brewers broadcaster Lane Grindle. Lane, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are we doing today?
Excellent. You know, part of the fun with this team, and it's been such a great start, is that there's so many young guys, and some of them we knew a lot about, some of them we didn't know as much about. When you think about the young guys on this roster who have stepped up, does one guy surprise you more or kind of grab your attention more than the others?
I think if you went back to the beginning of spring training, if you told me that Joey Wiemer was going to be up by the second day of the season and have the impact he has had, I might have been surprised by that. I'm not surprised in the talent of Joey Wiemer. Everybody was aware of that. He was a top 100 prospect at different points over the course of his journey to the big leagues. But I would have had him, you know, maybe not as close to the big leagues as Garrett Mitchell, who made his debut last year, or Bryce Terang. And yet here he is, and he's had a huge impact. He's really made a big impact defensively, and I think that gets overlooked a little bit. We're focused on what these guys are doing at the plate, and rightfully so, because they've been outstanding. But I think the defense that they've brought and their athleticism in the field is as big a deal as what they've done offensively.
So we have the cheesehead now to celebrate the home run. Does that mean, Lane, is the bell gone? Is the bell been retired from the dugout?
So I'm not an expert on this stuff, but my observation, and this is year 8 for me in the big leagues, is that the dugout kind of gimmicky stuff that we do to celebrate home runs or celebrate big moments, it's got to be fresh every year. Nothing carries over. So, you know, the bell was last year. They had the gauntlet a couple of years ago where they were throwing confetti and all that fun stuff. So I think every year you got to come up with new ideas, and I think the cheesehead is this year's idea. It's kind of simple. It's kind of easy, but it also fits. I mean, the fans love it, right? It's Wisconsin to a T. So, yeah, I think the bell is gone. That was 2022. It's 2023. It's the year of the cheesehead.
Lane, the cheesehead crown is hilarious, and I think part of it was I was there on the second night where there were 5 home runs in a row, so you can get into a rhythm of enjoying the cheese coronation. Do you know how this started?
You know, I don't know exactly how it originated, but, you know, Willie Adames is always in the middle of all of this stuff, one way or another. He's always one of the most eager participants in these types of things, and it's just fun. I mean, it's the guys having a great time together. And the other night when they hit 5, you almost had to have a second cheesehead because guys weren't all the way to the end of the dugout before another home run was hit. And so you had to rotate them around a little bit to make sure everybody had a chance to wear it. But this is the great part of baseball. I think guys' personalities and teams having fun together coming out, it's really good for the sport. And it's been a fun group to be around here to start this year. There is a lot of energy. There is a lot of connectedness. You hear that term thrown around a lot with the Brewers and Craig Counsell and kind of how he wants to build the culture here. And, boy, it's been as good a start as you could ever imagine.
Lane Grindle with us on WTMJ. Talk about the division a little bit, Lane. What do you expect out of this division?
I think this division's much better than what it's been the last couple of years. The Cardinals are off to a slower start, but they're going to get right, and they're going to be right there before it's all said and done. They're a very talented team. That is a really good lineup, and the Brewers pitched them extremely well over the weekend. So I wouldn't hit the panic button about St. Louis, even though they're off to a 3-6 start. I think the Reds are better. They've got a really good front three in their rotation. The lineup probably is down a ways when you start stacking up the division, but they've got 3 guys at the front of that rotation that could make it a really bad weekend for somebody that's a contender on any given weekend. So I think the Reds are a year better. The Pirates had some tough news with O'Neal Cruz going down because he's a really exciting player, but they're also better too. So the bottom of this division is not what it's been the last couple of years where you're counting on those teams to maybe lose 95 to 100 games. I don't think that's going to be the case with those 2 teams this year. I think they are not necessarily postseason contenders, but I think they're much more respectable clubs. And then the Cubs are better too. I don't know where the Cubs stack up in terms of the Cardinals and Brewers. I still think that the Brewers and the Cardinals are going to be the 2 class teams in this division that you expect to be fighting it out in the NL Central. But the Cubs are much better, and I'm going to be curious to see what they turn into as this year goes along.
And Lane, don't hit the panic button with Corbin Burns' start as well. He'll get it right, won't he?
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I'm not even remotely concerned. I mean, it's been 2 not his standard types of starts, but again, we're talking about 2 starts. It's such a small sample size right now that everything gets exaggerated a little bit, good or bad. There are ups and downs over the course of a season. The guys that have been there and done that and have the experience and I think the mental ability to kind of compartmentalize everything and just stay steady throughout and not get too high or low. When those inevitable ebbs and flows come, they have such an advantage over this marathon of a season, and Corbin's one of those guys. That's one of the things that he really worked on at the end of the 2019 season, and it's made such a difference for him going into 2020, and then, of course, the Cy Young Award in 21 and a great follow-up year to it last year, is that Corbin doesn't panic. He is not concerned. He will go to work and try to find little things he can clean up and get better at, but he understands how good he is and what he's got in front of him over the course of this season. So not very concerned about Corbin.
Lane Grindle with us on WTMJ. You know, Lane, I've often said in casual conversation amongst friends that there'd be nothing better in my life than to be the brother of Lane Grindle because you're just such a great guy. On this National Siblings Day, do you have brothers and sisters?
I have 2 sisters. They are older. So I was the baby, and I did not have a brother. So, you know, John, I mean, we can make honorary brothers.
Okay, I like that.
Done and done.
What do you think?
All right, mark it down. I'll
Spit on a handshake. That's all it takes, right?
I'll get the paperwork started if we need that, too.
All right. I'm in.
Hey, have a great call, Lane. It's always good to catch up with you. Great start to the season.
You bet.
Always fun to have you. Thank you, Lane.
You bet. Thank you.
It is 5:55 at WTMJ. Honestly, one of the really good guys.
We're going to have fun with him.
One of the nicest guys for sure. All right, coming up, we have Brewers baseball right here on WTMJ. News at the top of the hour. Brewers baseball after that. Business headlines straight ahead.
If you want to be sure that you're getting financial planning advice you can trust, work with a fiduciary. A fiduciary should be someone who acts as a steward for you. It means they treat your assets as if they were their own, that they protect them as if they were their own, and that they try to grow them as if they were their own. Now you can take this for what it's worth, but I'm doing all I can to run a firm you can trust. That's why we're a fee-only, comprehensive financial planning firm that doesn't work for anyone but our clients and focuses only on their best interest. By being a steward, being